Hello there, and thank you so much for joining us for the first session of Campaign 1 of Arcane Architects. Yes!
Yeah.
We are a group of gamers, artists, and weirdos, obviously, who got together to have fun, tell stories, and share them with you, the audience. Now, if you're brand new to Dungeons & Dragons, welcome to your new obsession. If you're an experienced player or a DM, hold on to your dice because we got some awesome players, we got a great DM, and a world that was built for all of us to discover together. Just wanted to say a big thank you to our DM, Mac, who you'll meet in a second. Also, our co-writer and world builder, Ben. Sasha for our lovely backgrounds, Corey Yamaoka for creating our theme song, and our character artist, Chho. Thank you so much. We will leave links in the video description down below if you want to follow any of those people and us, players and DM. If you enjoy this, please like, subscribe to keep up with our episodes as they come out each month. Now I'm going to pass it over to our DM, Mac.
Hi, everybody. My name's Steven, but you can call me Mac, and I will be your dungeon master for this campaign. Thank you. We will be starting as third-level characters in the new 2024 5th edition rules, but in our own homebrew setting. Everything we've sort of just cobbled together and made our own thing, and hopefully you enjoy it. We may have a few house rules during gameplay, and if they come up, we'll probably explain them real quick so you guys know what's going on. But if you like our games, have any questions, a weird joke about a bard, or just want to say hi, please comment below. We love and appreciate you all. And again, right before we begin, I'd like to give a shout out to our friend Ben, my co-DM, who helped take all my ADHD ideas and make it a coherent world. I guess with that, welcome to the world of Avendia.
Oh, it's so glorious already.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can feel it. I feel the vibes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes. Yes. I feel like I'm flying right now, guys.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Weird. I feel like we're starting something.
Woohoo! That was our awesome theme song. Thank you so much.
Was it really? Oh, it's so good.
All right. Let me bring up this. There we go. All right. The cool early spring air rolls through the woodlands of the verdant coast. The south road that follows the course of the Blessed Run is slowly becoming a muddy mess, truly earning its nickname, the Wet Way. To the east, the peaks of the western rise are covered with clouds as the rainy season begins. The light gray sky hangs over the small town of Riverton just after the break of dawn. The village is surrounded by a gated wood palisade and primarily consists of squat buildings composed of wood and thatch. However, it boasts a square stone wall well at its center, a relatively new addition. As is the only two-story stone building in Riverton, which stands nearby and acts as a town hall. Both mark the progress that the town has made despite the many dangers that exist this far from Iyanoré, the city of revelations. I'm just going to turn down the music a little bit, as that was way louder than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. Sorry, headphone listeners out there.
I was feeling it, man. I was scoring it still.
Welling. It was good.
All right. Let's play some D&D.
What's that?
D&D.
I don't know.
Wait,
What is D&D?
why are we
Sorry,
here?
guys, did not get that memo.
Jax.
Start playing Twister.
The subdued light begins to filter into the window of your room at the Wander Inn, where you've been staying for a few weeks now. You know you still have about another week in this place, thanks to city protocols established after the recent goblin tensions in Riverton. As you wake up and roll over, the first thing you see is your EMT bot, Lola, lying in the middle of the room, limbs tucked away within her metallic shell. As you wonder what today will bring you, please describe your character and yourself. Please introduce yourself.
With pleasure, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Nick. I've been playing TTRPGs for the last 10 years, and I'm ready to freaking rock this one out. My character, Jax, is a human artificer. He's a field medic, which is one of our new subclasses that we homebrewed here, which is pretty awesome. So I hope you like it. He's probably in his like late 20s, 28 probably ish. Like 5'10". He's got long brown hair that's like slicked over to the side and like hangs low. And then the other side of his head and the back are clean shaven. They're just like buzzed really short with long hair that's like combed over to one side, kind of like emo-y a little bit. As he's getting out of bed, he's in his just like light traveling clothes. He puts on a jumper, basically like a boiler suit, like a la Ghostbusters, like a jumpsuit that gray and like a little bit of mottled yellow. And then it has a blue strip kind of going down the shoulder from the neck to the edge where his hands are. He puts that on, puts on some boots, puts on what looks like a utility belt with some patches, vials. You see little tools on there, like a mini screwdriver, a wrench, maybe like a couple of tiny hammers. But there's also one smithing hammer on one side that's silver, burnished silver, with also a blue strip going down it. It matches his jumpsuit. And then he straps on a chest plate. So he's got a breastplate, like an old medieval style, but it's got straps and buckles on top, straps and buckles on the bottom, and it's seen some stuff. It's scratched up, it's been polished, but it's taken some dents and some blasts here and there. And then he puts on his gloves. He's got these really big, like goalie style gloves, like a goalie would wear in a hockey net. And they're big, they look bulky, but yet he's still very dexterous with it. And one of them has a big box that's attached to the forearm of the glove, and it's actually a medicine kit. So it actually says medicine on it in small numbers, and you see like letters, and you see a small little symbol of a pulse, like that line that you get with a pulse. You see that on the corner of the box. He opens it and kind of starts fiddling with the things inside. You see some gauze, some suture needles. You even see like bandages, and he kind of closes it up and says, "Good morning. How you doing, girl?" And this bot that's sitting on the floor in the middle of the room is like a silver and turquoise tortoise with a shell that has like orange tint to it as well, and it's all these metallic pieces put together that are kind of riveted into place. And the tortoise just gets up on its feet, and its head pokes out, and it just kind of looks around, does a little 360, and then just stands. And he kind of goes over to the bot and kneels down and kind of starts fiddling on it for the beginning of the day and kind of working on it. Opens a hatch up where the shell is and kind of looks inside, and behind him you can see there's like a blue glow from inside this bot. There's some kind of energy source. Don't know what it is right now, but it glows blue. And he kind of puts in a small wrench, and you hear, and he's, hope those new modifications I made work out. We're gonna have to test them in the field on the fly. I know it's not the rules as written, but we're gonna do it.
And at that moment when you're kind of fiddling, you hear just a little as a little piece of paper comes underneath your door.
Okay, go over, get the piece of paper, and check it out.
You open it up, and just says you have mail downstairs, and it's signed Magda.
Okay, sounds good. Guess it's time to start the day early. Didn't have much time to ourselves, but that's fine. Totally, I'm not in the city at all right now, but duty calls, right, Lola? Let's go. The bot turns, tick, 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 and he just slips on his backpack, which is also kind of pack rat-ish, filled with tools, a little net. You see a couple of torches in like a little holster, and then there's another medicine kit on the back of his backpack. So he has the one on his arm, and then he has another one on his backpack, and then he slips that over and ties it over his thing and starts to head down the stairs in the inn.
All right. As you head down the stairs, Lola's four kind of shorter legs, but still has a good speed to it. But it has to kind of like the legs extend to meet the stairs underneath it, so it kind of just like gently like goes down the stairs.
That's cool.
And as you get down there, you see a group of people kind of hanging out in like the corner, so keeping to themselves. But you've seen them around for the past like 2 days. And then also at the desk of the inn, where it's also kind of like a bar area, you see Magda. And you know her as she's the innkeeper. She's one of the owners of the inn. She's a human woman, about 41 years in age, patchy light brown skin, kind of stocky build, grayish brown hair, green eyes, and she's over there just kind of polishing some glasses and cleaning up the counter.
So I see her, and I also see this other group of people in the inn.
You've seen them
Is there
there for like
anyone-
a few days, but they really
Okay.
haven't. You've noticed that the people, the group of people that they have been spending quite a bit of coin in this small town, which doesn't really. This town normally doesn't see a lot of action necessarily. And upon looking at them, you could tell like they're definitely another adventuring group, and there's not too many of them usually outside of the city, but it's the adventuring has kind of been growing since you've been hearing more and more stories of different discoveries out there in this somewhat unknown continent. You do see a half orc. Oh yeah. Just if for a quick look, just around there, you see a half orc male, kind of thick in build. Seems to be kind of quiet and not really. But you can kind of tell they have like a sort of a presence over the other three. You see another human male, a little bit more lithe in build, kind of just always sitting there kind of fiddling with a dagger. Definitely the more boisterous of the group. Definitely seems to be sort of their front man, if you will. You see a half-elf female, also kind of like backed up into a corner, not quite, still with the group, but not quite, kind of like eyes on the door, sitting in the seat, quiet, arms crossed, sort of just kind of glaring, kind of looks at you real quick and does one of those and just kind of looks away. And then you see a female gnome, and being that you yourself are an artificer, instantly you get the notion that's one hell of a tinkerer over there, and you can see she also has kind of like an armband on her wrist, similar to yours, but definitely not like yours.
Okay.
But when you get a good glimpse of her face, you see like there's like a big burn mark like going across like a quarter of her face. Just like old burnt skin. Anyway, Magda sees you. Hey, you over here.
I walk over. Good morning, Magda. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you doing?
Good. It seems like a nice day so far. Get a little bit of sun out.
Yeah. Oh, here I got the. Yeah, I see you must have gotten the note. I have a note here. Here you go. And she just kind of hands you this letter. Still sealed.
Okay.
Has like a little wax seal on it, and the wax seal not nondescript. No specific marking on it. Just keeping it closed.
Okay. I take out a small knife and cut it and start to open it.
Sure. And you read the note, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're gonna cut away to Frey. You've also been staying at the Wander Inn for quite a few months now, maybe even close to a year at this point. You've earned your stay though. You've been helping the townsfolk with different with some odd jobs, and you've been allowed to stay mostly free of charge through your goodwill and willingness to help people. But also, you haven't really grown close with many of them. But yeah, you actually wake suddenly from a disturbed sleep. You kind of feel the cold sweat dripping down from your forehead. You kind of your eyes, you wink yourself awake. You look over and Dare, your familiar, is sat on a nearby chair, seemingly waiting for you to rouse. Please, just introduce yourself and describe your character and what people see in the room.
Well, first off, I'm Chho. I've been playing D&D for probably 7 or 8 years now, and been playing tabletop games forever. But more importantly, Frey is getting out of bed, sweat dripping down his face. His wavy brown hair is kind of matted a little bit because of all the sweat. And shoulder length hair. He's just very tall, slim, kind of a wiry build. Light blue eyes, and he kind of grabs off the post of the bed the blue robe that he generally wears, that he quickly kind of pulls on and buckles and straps in. Very faded, but well kept robe. Little bit of fraying on the edges, but generally seems to be in good. Kept well. He kind of grabs a couple things from the table. You see there's a small tarnished shield that also looks pretty clean. He grabs a scabbard, also worn, that he buckles around his belt as well. That also has on the other side what looks to be a spell book. A very worn spell book, looks like could be pages missing. The spine looks like it's been torn at pretty aggressively, maybe removing something from there. He checks along his neck. He grabs kind of one and two. He has a silver necklace with a clear gem in the center, and then another finer gold chain that he kind of has tucked under his shirt. And he makes sure both are there. Frey is a barbarian, and we're using the new subclass, the elemental, for him. And he kind of looks over at Dare, who is kind of perched on the end of the bed, more of just a swirl of air than anything else, but he can pretty readily recognize it. And he kind of looks over at Dare and can just feel Dare looking back at him and just says, I know. Well, we're up.
All right.
Let's see what the day brings.
And you know, slowly get out of bed, you get there, you get your stuff together, and you kind of say, well, you know, what's going to happen today? And you start walking downstairs. And that's where, all right. Lennox, honey, wake up for breakfast. Lennox, you hear your mom exclaim from the other side of the house, and you wake up, and the sound of your mother's voice rings in your ears, and the smell of pancakes and bacon slips through the crack of your room's door and finds its way to your nostrils, and you snap awake. Please introduce yourself and describe your character.
Yeah, hi, my name is Kay McNellen. I've been playing D&D for only about 4 years, but I've watched every episode of Dimension 20 that exists and is viewable. And that's how I got obsessed with it. And then I started playing with my friends, and I recently started DMing, and I just love it. I make up the weird in our list of people that are present on this call. Lennox is a wild magic sorcerer, and everything about what that is a part of who she is as well. She's as chaotic as her power is, and she's as determined to prove herself as her power is determined to make things go awry. She's the definition of chaotic good. She went to sleep in the clothing from the day before, because she wanted to be able to get right out of bed, right out the door, and right back to the adventuring party to see what's happening. So she pops up fully dressed, which for Lennox means very much hobbit attire. She just slips on her little shoes. She's got like a vest that's a little bit worn, white button-up shirt, and just regular pants. And then she wears this really beautiful cloak with the insignia of her school on it. And last night, because she didn't want to take time to make the bed, she slept with the cloak as her blanket. And she says, good morning to Chho, who is her pet blackbird. She wanted a crow, but the crow is too big because she is a halfling. So when Chho, the blackbird, sits on her shoulder, she thinks that looks close enough to her having a crow. So she runs out the door and she goes, good morning. Yes. Oh, very good food. I'm going to take it to go. And she starts grabbing the pancakes.
Okay, well, just, hey, honey. And she kind of grabs your shoulders. Yeah. Just, look, I'm very proud of you. But just be careful out there, okay?
Mom, okay.
I'm very proud of you. And thank you again for saving Mr. Finglebutts,
Yes, you're
from those goblins in the forest there. You were very brave, and I'm very proud of you. Just, please, if you're gone for too long, just please write.
No. Absolutely. Hey,
okay.
Mom.
Yes?
I'm going to write.
Okay.
And also, I just wanted you to know that after having saved him, I just want to say, I'm very happy for you too. I think he's a really good guy. Could he punch harder? For sure. Oh. And we're going to talk about that when I get back. Okay. But remember to feed the chickens.
Okay, yep.
I love you. And if I don't see you for a week, it's because I'm saving the world. Okay.
Okay, wait, here, take this pocket bacon. And she shoves like a bunch of bacon in your pocket.
Thank you, Mom. And then I throw some to the blackbird. And I had already taken some of the pancake and like crumbled it up into like a little like hand snack. So there's like syrup kind of like dripping from her hand.
All right. And
as she runs out,
as you make your little way probably over to the inn where you know Jax is, Jax, you start to read the letter just right as the door swings open, and Lennox pops out, and then you look up the stairs real quick too, and you just see Frey kind of coming down the stairs, but like kind of like not tired, but groggy, just doesn't ever really look happy. At least a few days that you've seen him, just doesn't look happy necessarily. The letter reads. Now I have to go find it because I have too many things. Here we go. Letter. Dear Jax, I have heard whisperings lately of an interesting find some adventuring group discovered ruins recently at the base of the Western Rise. So on to the juicy bits. These red feathers or blood hawks or something like that. Anyway, I don't know. That's the name of the group that's supposed to have found this stuff. They stumbled upon this cave that turned out to be some very old ruins, yes, and I've included a rudimentary map of where it's located. And then, you check within the letter, and actually it's another small piece of paper, and it's like, kind of like where the Western Rise is. It's to the east of where you are. It's a huge mountain range. It's usually, snow-capped because of the elevation, even though where you are is fairly temperate most of the time. But with the spring rolling in, it's heating up. The tops of the mountains are just covered in clouds for the next almost 2 months. But you yourself have never ventured out that far before. You see the map. It kind of leads you to where you think it would go, and you know of the area pretty well, at least on a map. But you never traveled. Anyway. They found some treasure and a fantastical stone that is being researched now. I wish to have some of this for myself. And if there's enough, the city could benefit as well. I would exercise great caution, as I believe the first group encountered a band of ogres or something. I don't know. I don't think one of them made it back. And this is like, the letter itself is kind of pretty informal at times and kind of flips back to formal, and it's like a little all over the place. Anyway, and we all know there are many dangers out in the wilds beyond the Rend. I look forward to your response. You know where to send it, and if successful, we will discuss retrieval of the materials. Good luck and Godspeed. Signed, -F.
Good morning, tavern people. Magda, good morning. Jax,
hello.
good day. How are you?
Good, now that I have my own homegrown hero and my favorite Dark Rain Cloud have just joined me. This is
You don't have
fantastic.
to say all that. I like
Ray
you.
just sits at the bar and just...
Yeah, I gesture back to him as well. I'm like, that's the other guy too.
That wasn't to you. Magda?
Hey.
Morning, Magda.
Breakfast.
Here's some
You
of
want-
my
you want
mom's
breakfast?
pocket
Okay.
bacon.
She goes in the back, and you could already smell it. So you could smell the breakfast being cooked in the inn. And not even 5 minutes later, she comes out with a plate with some hot cakes, some potatoes, and some eggs. Here you go. Do you want a cup of Joe, Frey?
Ale.
Ale. Okay. Well, early. Good for you.
Take the coffee, Magda, and make it a double.
Oh, sure thing, child. And she kind of whispers,
Same for me.
caffeine, decaffeinated for the little one.
Oh, thank
Same
God.
for me, please.
Comes back out with a spread of breakfast, and she kind of comes back. Wait, Lennox, did you need breakfast too?
No, did you want some of my mom's pocket bacon? I know it's your favorite.
Okay, thank you. She takes it and walks back.
God, she's fun.
Soppy pocket bacon. Oof.
My mom makes it extra crispy for the pocket.
Okay, great, good.
Lasts longer.
Eventually, she comes back with plates of food, an ale, coffee, and coffee.
Special coffee.
So, how we feeling this morning? Any new
Good.
adventures we need to take care of?
Well, I'm glad that you're here. And I did have to say those things about you for the way you kind of helped your own town against the goblins. You
Yeah.
kind of proven yourself, at least in my eyes, a little bit. Like, you held your own for one of the wee folk, at least.
Jax, you had a letter?
Sorry?
You had a letter? What was the letter?
I do have a letter, yes. Now that you're sitting with us, great. It was from F. It kind of told me about there were some adventurers around here that
Is
found
that our
some
boss?
ruins.
Neither
that the one
neither of
who's
you
gonna
know
be-
who the FF is.
I don't know who.
Yeah. Is F,
It
so
is.
Lennox says out loud, is F our boss? That's the person who's going to tell us where to go, when to go, where to be,
Do-
what time, when to get there.
Do-
Send us like the gadgets.
F gives me information now and again, and usually it's reliable.
It's your boss.
I figure while I'm out here and not back at the city, I could at least get as much done as I can.
Oh yeah,
from
we got a lot that
organization,
needs to
but,
get done out here. I mean, I'm sure the city's
yeah.
busy too, but We got
after
problems.
after seeing the goblins and what they did to this area, I think
Yeah.
everything should be investigated at this point. Anyway, I'm so sorry. There were some ruins over near the western rise. Apparently, some other group was there that discovered them, and there was some treasure there and some sort of stone that we could retrieve for F for research purposes.
Hmm.
I myself, being an artificer, definitely know the value of knowledge and research and how far it can go in our developments as people. So I wouldn't mind if you two would accompany me on this. I think me and Lola could use the help.
This personal research for F, or does F work for somebody?
Do I know who F is?
You have
No.
not met F. You've only corresponded, and F has
All
paid
right.
you for other
Okay,
things at
gotcha.
times, but you have not met F.
No, F is more of a third party. You see,
Okay.
yeah, but has always been trustworthy in our dealings and has always delivered on promises. So I tend to go for it.
A
Fair enough.
secret brotherhood of adventurers who research. This is actually great because I'm trying to make a map of the local surrounding areas. Many people in this town haven't been further than the city. So if there are some ruins someplace that people ought to know about, I'd love to go map where that is.
Sure, yeah. If it can help anybody in this town, I think it's great. The more we can map out, the safer they'll be in the future, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the loggers who get attacked with the goblin tax, that happens because they don't know where those goblin camps are. So I think the more information, the better.
If we could keep the loggers safe, if this would help them, sure.
Frey,
Great.
that's so kind of you. And I just want to say, while we're going around and giving each other compliments, I really appreciate this time that we've spent together.
He
lately.
gets up and walks out.
Okay.
Do you walk
That's
out of
him
the
right
inn?
there.
I pick up my plate and just walk to another table.
Okay. So yeah, you turn
Damn.
around. You weren't really like observing the area. You were just kind of like going through your daily motions of that. But then you do turn around and you also see these four characters sort of in the corner of the inn, and you see the human kind of like playing with a dagger, but then also like kind of like touching like the half orc like on the ear. And then the second time he goes around, the half orc just catches it and just like, stop messing around. Puts his hand down. He's like, all right, touchy, always so touchy. And then they're just kind of hanging out there.
Good little smirk from that.
Nick, what you do notice, as you guys are kind of like, you notice these people. They're not, again, not being super rambunctious, but you've seen them around town for a few days, spending lots of money. And you can see that they all have a single bloodhawk feather that's pinned to their chest, kind of like a brooch.
Okay. I kind of like lean over now that Frey's not at our table. I just lean over to Lennox, and I'm sipping my coffee, and I'm like, I think those might be the adventurers that discovered the ruins. I think we should go talk to them and at least get the lay of the land.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a great
They
idea.
look formidable. I heard they were called the Bloodhawks or the Red Feathers. I'm not sure, but I guess we can find out. Can we go?
Yeah, real quick question, clarity-wise. Do you happen to know how F gets their information?
I don't.
I love that about you. You know, you just take an idea and you run for it. I think that's really brave. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And
I
she
get
hops
up
off her
with
stool.
the coffee. I get up with the coffee and I start walking over to them slowly. I saunter.
You hear Frey give a muffled chuckle to that.
As you approach this group, the half orc just kind of looks straight, looks you directly in the eye, kind of looks you up and down, and then the human comes. Oh, hello. What brings you on over to our group, friend?
Well, I'm a man of science and a man of learning, and I saw that you all look like a formidable group of adventurers who've been in town for a little while now. And this town doesn't get many folks like you.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I just wanted to
yeah.
come pick your ear.
Yeah, we're just we're taking a break. We kind of scored a huge cash. Made some money recently. It's been great. It's taking a little vacation, in Riverton. This place is boring as shit. But not a lot of places to go outside the city. And he looks you up and down, as you would also probably know.
It's true, I would know. And he reaches inside his breastplate, like puts his hand underneath and pulls out his IDC like thing so they can see. He's like,
Oh.
I'm part of the IDC. So yeah, I would know. And then he slides it right back in.
I do see. Excellent. All right.
That's
Well,
good, that's good. I like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're just hanging out. What can we do for you?
Totally. I heard about some deeds of the Bloodhawks or the Red Feathers. Am I getting that right? I mean no disrespect.
Okay. Well,
I mean no disrespect.
I mean, we're
So
pretty much.
If you're trying to keep this on the DL, you gotta take the feathers off your coat.
No. We're hot shit now in the city.
Okay.
We're big adventurers. Yeah, we totally found this place and found this cool ore. It's like a metal ore, right? And it turns out your IDC definitely wanted that because it was worth some money. So we cashed in and bought some fancy duds, and then of course the half orc kind of like puts his hand on his mouth like, can you shut up? What do you want?
Well, I am from the IDC, and I'm here in town kind of keeping the peace and also surveying the surrounding areas of Riverton, making sure that everything's safe enough and sort of mapping it out for the citizens, to do right by them. I did hear word of what you found.
Yeah, they didn't really give us a name for it, but turned out to be worth a pretty penny. Though, I mean, we found surprisingly not that much of it, but we got attacked. A couple ogres. They took out one of our group mates. We weren't that close to him, no big deal. But unfortunately, we lost one, as is the adventuring life. But you could go check out the place if you want. We pretty much cleaned it up, I thought.
I'm sorry to hear for your loss.
No worries. Nothing. This gold didn't cure.
Wow, you guys must have been really close.
Sure thing.
I forgot. I'm so sorry. My name is Jax, by the way.
Jax. Working with the IDC. Where in the IDC you part of?
Oh, I dabble here and there, different departments. They have me out on expeditions as well. I don't want to work for one department anymore. It's really weird.
Interesting.
But actually, this is Lennox, my official representative of Riverton.
Yes, hello. I am here as well.
You're energetic. Here's I'll give you an introduction. So we are the Scarlet Pinion. I am the founder of this group. My name is Quinn Duststone, and you can see he's older male, definitely built, has very long, wavy black hair and brown eyes. He's very veiny green skin, it is yoked. He stands, and he's sitting down, and you could tell he probably stands at a solid 6'8".
Oh damn!
He is
All
just
right.
a big boy.
He's
He's like a big boy sitting at a little table. Okay.
That's a thick boy.
Yeah, he's very beefy build, and I don't know why. Oh yeah, and it's a little descriptive, but he is very diamond shaped. Pretty attractive. He's pretty attractive half orc male because he's yoked.
Mac, how do you really
what
feel
was the
about
name?
this character?
Huh? His name was Quinn Duststone.
Quinn Duststone. All right, sexy Quinn Duststone.
Now we're getting to the real meat of this.
I'm into it.
Let me introduce this mouthy friend here. This is, and the guy chimes in. Hi, I'm Asher Ashglade. Human male, seems to be around 30-ish. He has long, straight brown hair, blue eyes. Has soft black skin. Stands only about 5'7", a little on the shorter side. A little more round. He's not super built, not super lithe, just kind of normal-ish. And his face is a little rounder. And but he seems friendly. He's taught. He was ready to talk at any moment given the chance. And this one over here, she's not really much for words. This is Wendy. She's our tracker, and she has you see there's a longbow hanging against the wall. She has two swords against the wall right next to her. You could see there's daggers at the boots, and she's an elf, and Frey, you being of Elven descent, you can tell probably about 90 in Elven, if you can see. So not super old, not super young.
Yeah, Frey's tracking this whole conversation, but he's kind of letting.
Yeah, you can hear they're
Letting it
they're
all go
loud
down.
enough. This inn is not massive, so they're loud enough you can kind of hear them, but you're not really a part of the conversation.
No, but he's facing to it. He wants to keep an eye on everything going on.
But she has short, straight white hair though, pure white hair, green eyes, darker like a brownish skin, like kind of rugged. Definitely looks like she been outside a lot. And she stands about 5'1", kind of on the shorter side for an elf. And her now you get now you can see her face, like it's haggard, even for her age. But there's like a couple scratches here and there. Whatever scratched her probably did not survive. All right, and then underneath the table comes running this much shorter individual, and Jax, you look down, and she's actually tinkering, not full on tinkering, kind of being respectful, but like definitely like on top of Lola, and like touching Lola, and like peeling back the thing, and just taking looks, but not going in. Do you do anything?
I say it's I just did some new modifications. It's kind of a new version. I don't know if you've seen any Steel Defenders before.
This is new. This is fancy.
Yeah,
like,
there's not that many of them in the city.
No. This is interesting. Never thought to build something like this. This is cool. What does it do? What does it do?
Lola, shell, and then the turtle, like the legs tuck in and the head goes.
Oh,
and it just now it's just a shell on the ground.
You throw it?
No. It does its own things.
Okay. And this is a gnome female. Wearing now that she's out and about, you can see she's actually wearing like a full mechanical suit almost. Like it's still kind of patchworky, but like it's a full metal suit up to like her neck. Hey, the name's Zafina, spelled with an X, and she has a lot longer name that I'm not gonna say right now. And now old, like wrinkly skin, probably been at this for a long time. If you had to, you know what? Roll me a medicine check, Jax, as like that would help you be able to age somebody. I think. Let's get some rolls down.
Totally.
Right. A 13.
13. Yeah, mid-range, but you're just checking out a person, but you did like over 300.
Yeah, for a gnome, like when
For
a
a gnome.
gnome looks old.
Yeah.
That means something.
Yeah, long curled, dyed black hair. You could tell it's been dyed. And blue eyes. She has soft golden skin. She stands about 2'9", but kind of built for a little old lady. And then her face is nothing spectacular, but just kind of like it's very angular for an old lady, but wrinkles here and there and everywhere. And as you check out her gear, I would actually say probably roll me either some type of intelligence check or Arcana.
Arcana, indeed. Ooh, that was a bad roll. A 9.
Yeah, so I would say just you see that she's wearing like a full suit of armor, and different artificers love dabbling in different things. But then when you kind of just take a quick look at her belt, you could see like there's like these round things sort of attached to her belt, like 2 or 3 of those, and then you do see on her back is definitely just like a straight up stick of dynamite.
Oh, snap.
And that's what you glean from that. You don't really necessarily know her main focus, but she seems really wily and a little kind of chaotic when she's speaking anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Scarlet Pinion. Pretty impressive,
Very
I
cool.
know. Ash, don't talk right now. So, you guys, why do you want to know about these ruins that we found?
Well, we're trying to map out the area,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I didn't know about ruins. You see, you know how people don't really know what's going on that much out of the city. I'm hoping
Well,
that
it's a dangerous
every time
world out there in the Rend. You better be careful.
Well, you should see. I have a few things up my sleeve, but we were just hoping that maybe we could go check these ruins out so we could map them for future travelers to avoid, especially since you were attacked. Which, by the way, who were you attacked by?
Well, about 3 ogres came out of a cave when we were camped up near it. We'll just say our tracker didn't track very well that day. And he looks over at Wendy, and she kind of just goes, just looks away. So, but yes, we dispatched those ogres, though. You don't have to worry about them no more. But still,
Great.
so do
That's
you
great.
While I'm
know
sitting
where this
and
place
watching,
is? Frey?
could I cast detect magic and see what they're packing?
Sure.
Whoa.
You may
Dude.
cast detect magic. And like this
Cast detect
conversation's going on for a while, so you have how are you casting it?
I was just going to, so I have a free cast of it per day because
Okay.
of elf.
Gotcha.
So I was going to do that.
Okay, fine. So you just kind of close your eyes, kind of motion with your hands, and you kind of say a light incantation. Right? Is that verbal as well?
Let me check. Detect magic is yeah, verbal and somatic. So I do like a under the table little hand movements and kind of whisper something to my breakfast.
I would say roll me a deception check. Even though normally it's kind of like, it's because it's not subtle necessarily, but you are further away. They're talking. They're being they're definitely being distracted by Jackson. Definitely Lennox.
Deception check. Oh, a 4.
Not very deceptive. But
Not very good.
they are distracted. As you cast a spell and you close your eyes and you open your eyes, how do you present your detect magic?
So, his eyes kind of go a little bit like glossy, and almost you see like little sparks, almost like not sparks, but almost like little arcs of like lightning in his eyes, but not coming
bright,
out,
just
just like
just a little,
almost
just a little
behind
light.
his eyes. Think of like if there was like electrical sparks behind cataracts. That's kind of the idea.
Okay. Yeah, so your eyes light up and you look over and you do notice that the ranger is just staring at you, not acting, just going. And what yeah, and kind of just staring you down but not acting, and so you weren't that secretive. But yeah, you do see. Let's see, what do you see? Well, so the only one who actually has gear down here is the ranger. The rest, and you see a dagger on the table. You do notice that the dagger itself is glowing, like a light, just a very pale blue, not overly powerful. And you do notice a glow coming from the half-orc's boots, and you notice a glow coming from the just the artificer in general. Like her whole suit of armor is glowing a bit. Little things here and there. You notice that the dynamite on her back is not glowing.
It's not glowing. Okay.
But the two like spherical objects hanging from their belt is, and one's glowing like a greenish color, and the other one's glowing a light reddish color. But not a super powerful glow.
Okay.
Give you like an indicator, right? So, is there something I can help you with?
If you can give us any more information about the area, what it looked like. I think I have a general direction on how to get there, but I just don't really want any surprises.
Where you found the ore, specifically.
Sure. Why not? We're on vacation, right, fellas? And they all kind of look in and they just kind of nod and smile, and the artificer goes back to playing with Lola, but again, not dismantling at least, but playing with and poking around and checking her out. Sure. So I can help you out. So I would just be careful of, obviously, once you leave this town and cross the river, it just gets more dangerous out there. Just watch your backs. Lots of beasts out there. Some things a little scarier than beasts. The goblins aren't that scary, let's be honest, unless they're in mass. But out there, you usually don't see them too often. The beasts will tend to get them before we can even see them. Once you get closer to the mountain, though, just same old. Lots of creatures out there. The forest gets a lot thicker as you get closer. Not much so of a path leading there, of course, once you leave this town. Ogres dispatched. There may be more. Keep that in mind. But once you get to the cave, and he kind of slowly starts to describe roughly, if like, oh, you get to this point, if you look up at the peaks, you'll see these two sort of symbols. Walk between those, and that'll get you there a little easier. There's no real markers of where this place is. Eventually, you will find a larger cave, and most likely find ogre bodies there. It's within that cave that you delve a little deeper, and there's a ruins inside the earth.
Very
I'll
cool.
tell you right now, don't know what they were, don't know who was there before, but they are old.
I say thank you so much. That was
Yeah, no
incredibly
problem.
helpful.
I have nothing to lose from this, and maybe the city will gain. And he kind of like, it's a little playful with the way he says that.
I say Lola up, and the legs sprout out of the turtle, and the head pops out.
Artificer
of the
kind of
shell.
falls backwards a little bit on her rear.
Oh. I actually put my hand out to help her up.
Yeah, thanks.
When you say that, Lola up, I go, Chho, here, and Chho completely ignores.
Crow is not. So yeah, so Crow is like kind of flying around the inn. Luckily, Magda's used to it, and it doesn't listen.
No, absolutely not. But I act basically like he did. Like I got a friend too.
As I'm helping her up off, I'm leaning down really low because she's so small, and I like I gesture my head like that to like have Lola walk away, kind of walk back to the table where we're at, and I help as I'm helping the artificer up. I like lean really close to her, and I'm like, "Did you see anything worthwhile in the ruins?"
No.
While I'm holding your hand.
Just no.
Insight check.
Yeah, go for it.
Wow, I'm really bad.
No.
A 6.
6.
Can
no.
I have like a little bit of like a guess that I don't want to say out loud, but can I do on the gnome? I'm trying to figure out if I can guess if they are like, I think they might be part elf or something with the angular face. So I'm wondering if there's like a check I can do to see if I can kind of figure out what I think their class is.
No, I mean, I'll just be honest. What are you again? You're halfling, right?
I'm a halfling.
You're a halfling. Okay.
Halfling.
I would say for this roll a flat intelligence check.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see if you can glean some insight into what kind of gnome they may be.
Let that go. Yeah.
20. 20. Yeah,
Oh.
20. I'll take the first one's 20. Good roll.
That's a nat
nice.
20. That's the first nat 20 on the show.
No, wait, is it? No.
That's a dirty
It's
20.
an 18 plus 2. It's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
You tried.
Oh,
That's
God,
still
I
good.
You'll get there. You'll get
Um,
there. Give it some time. You'll get there.
It's so weird not having dice.
I know.
Okay.
No.
I do love me dice.
I'm gonna
the
miss math.
technology.
Okay.
For those of you watching, we are playing on Roll20, and if there is a battle map, it will switch over to Roll20. But for now, all you basically see is just our faces. Sorry, I may add a dice roller.
Hey.
Actually, honestly, leave a
you're
message in the
welcome.
comments if you've gotten this far in our video. If you want me to put the dice roller inside the video or not.
Yeah.
Okay, just let me know. Anyway, let me know. So yeah, 20, no problem. Thinking about it, the angular face, but like the build and the skin tones, you're like, oh, it's just a rock gnome.
Okay.
So this is a gnome that's throw out some lore there. So it's a gnome that probably would have been living with the dwarves a lot longer. These types of gnomes usually tend to hang out with the dwarves in this world, and are both subterranean species, according to the land dwellers. And that's just simple, but that's now you know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
All right,
thank you
I-
guys so
I'll
much.
help her up.
And you help her up. She's thanks, and kind of like
Have a good one.
is not super friendly, but like is grateful, and then kind of just walks away from you. What do you do?
Go back to Frey.
Hmm.
So, I look at Frey and Lennox and I say, "You
Looks over
both
you.
with me? You both with me?
This is
Yeah.
something that can help the town, then sure.
I'll check the weather.
Fantastic. Great.
And I pull
love
out, this is one of her favorite things to do, to make sure that travel conditions are okay. She's got her little, it's the druid craft spell that can detect the weather for the next 24 hours.
Okay, so which spell is this? It's just Druidcraft?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I get this right because I don't want to give you too much.
About the weather.
Yeah, about the
Weather sensor. You create a tiny, harmless sensory effect that predicts the weather at your location for the next 24 hours. So it would have to be sort of like, if the weather, I can't tell the weather out there, but I can do like near us.
That's
Hey,
fine.
I'll know whether to wear a hat or not.
Weather.
Heck.
So yeah, you kind of conjure this little sphere in your hands, and it kind of sits there and warbles around, and because of you and who you are, little fireworks kind of fizzle around it, and don't like it like kind of glitches occasionally, and then it kind of just turns into like a cloud. So it's just like but it's not. It doesn't have like a let's see like a wet rainy bottom, but just like kind of like this gray overcasty cloud.
I look at it and I go, the perfect day. Let's go, men.
All right. Sounds good.
Frey sitting there is like,
Yeah.
Come on.
Frey finishes his breakfast, gets up with his eyes still kind of cloudy, looks over to the half orc and just goes, nice boots. Follows him out.
thanks. They're new. All right. As you guys exit the inn, let's switch this up a little bit. Why not? Let's just go.
Question to you two: is one of you good at tracking or survival? Can either of you do that?
I think last time, Frey was helping.
Have some ability in doing that.
Okay.
Yes.
I
That's
have
great.
something too that's similar. That's good that because I remember when we've done sort of.
As long as somebody
maybe
has
not.
some survival, that's fine.
Well, you do have the little map.
Map helps, yes.
Which
Map.
is I mean it's like crudely drawn, but looks good.
Yeah,
You know what
we're
I'm saying?
gonna
Like
follow
it's
this map,
definitely
for
just on a
sure.
piece of paper, but
Yeah.
like it's like you're gonna go this distance for this long. You're probably gonna want to turn here. You're gonna want to avoid like there's like a weird rock picture in the thing. It's like you're gonna want to go around that. And that's it's pretty
Alright.
it's pretty decent. And then with what what's his name told you. I already forgot his name because I'm moving on already. But you get the
Quinn,
idea where to go. Quinn, thank you. Where Quinn
Quinn.
told you to go. Kind of helps piece those things together. So most likely you'll have at some point some form of either bonus or advantage. All right.
Just really quick for some flavor with the maps. I think Lennox, as they go, is going to take both those maps, combine them into a single map that she's drawing out, and then adding detail as they walk. And then she has like a little notebook she's filling.
She has a notebook. Okay, I was gonna say, does Lennox have a like a cartographer's kit?
Yes, I think I included that in her backpack, but if not, we can figure that out.
If not, how much money does Lennox have?
36 gold.
Okay, and you live in this town. This town is your hometown. So even if you don't have one, I'm sure the general store would be willing to give you one for quite.
Well,
quite,
and I think
quite
she might have lied and said she needed it for school.
Ooh, okay,
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
And, roll me a deception check.
And this wouldn't be a lie with she's not lying to mom.
No.
Okay.
They're 15 gold, by the way, in case you didn't know that.
They're not that expensive.
I mean,
13. Clerk has more important things to do than try to suss out little lies of a younger adventurous
Correct.
girl who's doing all
Yeah.
that. So she probably would have given you one for half price. We'll say let's just say 8 gold. You spend 8 gold, you have a thing.
Great. Cool.
And I don't care.
Yeah,
about
she's
that
just
scan.
keeping track.
Great. So yeah, you have a cartographer's tools, and you have it came with some parchment, we'll say, and so you're kind of like drawing your own map, and you already have the city of Iyanoré on there because you've been there. You have Riverton, and you have the in between that a little bit, but you really haven't adventured out too far from there, as most haven't. Because the Rend, which is the overall sort of forested area that you're in, it's kind of scary for most people, and adventures have only really kind of come about in the last not even 20-ish years of this on this continent. So, with that being said, as you guys exit the inn into the kind of like there's sort of courtyard area of Riverton, you see the stone well, and over across the way you see the 2-story stone building that is normally where like the mayor lives and where they govern the town. And in the middle of the town, you see, well, as we've known him in 2 names, you see Defender 001, a automaton, a warforged. Actually has a very large, long pole on his back, each with like 5 water buckets on each side, just walking across town, following this older lady. Kind of looks over to you, Jax, does one of these things and does like a little salute type thing and just keeps walking.
Keep up the good work, Zero.
Will do. And because he heard you, because his ears are great, because he's a robot. And you see that he's just helping the town working, and as you all know him now as he's been coined the sheriff. You look up at the sky, and indeed it is very gray, very cloudy. That's one of those bright gray cloudy days. And as you look up, just like one little raindrop kind of hits you in the eye, Lennox. You're like, but like it's not raining, but there's definitely little drips.
A perfect
here
day.
And there. So what do you guys do?
I, after like gesturing towards Defender Zero, and I see the raindrop, I like reach in the breastplate, like under where my neck is, where like my collar is, and I pull up, and there's a hood that comes out from just my from my jumpsuit. There is a hood that's attached to it, and it's the same color. And I put it over, and I kind of block the sun out, and I'm like, I hand the map to Frey, and I say, maybe you take point for the beginning, and we cover you for the first leg.
And he kind of do what I can, and he takes the map and he kind of tries to match it up to anything that he's seeing in terms of like which way it's. Is there like a compass on the map in terms of like?
Yeah. So if I can arrange, so the map from Riverton. Well, here's the thing, you know where the Western Rise is. You can't. You could roll me a perception check.
Perception check.
It's pretty
19.
far away.
19, nice.
Great. You look over and you can see like that line in the distance, right? Like you can't see mountains necessarily, but you know like that's not how the earth works. And you can just see that like extra weird bluish color, even though it's probably just so far away. It's just that weird extra line of when you see mountains in the distance. So you know which way those are, and they are to the east, south-ish east of you, because this continent's tilted. And you know that Iyanoré is like a northwestish, mostly westish of you. But anyway,
okay.
But you know to basically travel more towards going east.
Okay. So well, I think we're gonna be heading this way for a while.
Let's do it, into the unknown. Let's go.
If you want, you can roll a survival check to understand how far away the Western Rise is from this
Let's try it.
area.
A 6.
In a few days.
Gonna be a bit.
It's far.
With that said, the town doesn't really have much in the ways of like horses and stables for rent. Jax, you came to this city on a horse, but you would not have enough for your compatriots. So what would you guys like to travel on foot? You probably could get a wagon, but you also know that there's really no roads. Like, it's forest that way.
Yeah. I think foot makes the most sense. Yeah.
Are you going to be good to walk?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm a great walker. Top 10 walkers that I know, anyway.
That's
yes.
good. That's
you
a
know
good
a lot
quality
of
to have.
walkers.
It's a good quality to have.
Everyone, luckily for me, knock on wood, everyone I've met so far is a walker. But, so I'm pretty good at it. No, I think it's gonna be good. As long as you have good camping supplies.
Do you guys have good
you brought
camping
some.
supplies?
Let's see. I have a blanket and a bar of soap.
Okay. So
I'm
you just
sorry,
got out of
That's
prison.
all I need. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I need. That's
Just
all I
got
have.
out of prison.
No, I have a oil lamp. So can we purchase? Before we leave, can we purchase?
Okay.
2 tents.
Yes. Let me. I have a document.
2 tents?
I have a document.
3 tents.
3 tents.
I think we all need a tent.
Okay.
Let's see.
I think Lennox too. While you guys are checking out, you say 2 tents, and I said after taking the emotional pulse of this group, I think 3 tents is probably the safest way to start.
Okay.
And then if we bond together on this
yes.
trip, we may be able to move to 2 tents.
You know,
The
for once,
tents
I
are
agree.
20 pounds each. Are you gonna carry your 20-pound tent?
I think 2 tents is a really interesting choice for this group, and I'd like to explain why.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so we do have. So okay, well here since we're here, right? You
Number
guys
one,
are...
I can't carry a 20-pound tent.
No, you.
I
Can't.
know.
Oh my god.
Like.
And don't tell him,
Pulls.
but neither can Chho. Okay?
Oh no, Crow.
All right.
Yeah.
Big ass
So,
10 poles.
As you're in the center of town, you know kind of getting survey land. All of you have been here for a little while. Lennox, you know exactly where the general store is. You start walking over towards there as you go on an adventure. We need to buy some supplies. As you're walking over to the general store, you do all walk by it's kind of like, you know, very modest little I want to say shack, but it's a home. Nothing special. But on the side of that home, with like a little rain overhang to protect it, you do see a shrine of Avandra sitting there, a little statue with a plate in front of it, a couple gold coins, and you see a gnome male, about 200 years old in age, pretty old, not super old, lean build, wavy hair, gray eyes. I'm not sure if you've... Lennox, you would know them, but their name is Friar Dell. Delig Appledrop, for their full name. And he's just sitting in front of the shrine. He's taking the coins and putting them into a cup and kind of cleaning the shrine and keeping the area nice, and kind of keeps the... it's like a little circular dirt area in front of it for people to go, if they wish to, pray at the altar. And he starts heading back towards his door, kind of sees you, just gives you a little wave, and continues on with his chores. And then you get near, you know, not even a little 30-second minute stroll down the path, you get to the general store. It's the 3rd largest building in town. It's the only real shopping store in the town. And as you enter the door, you see a human male, 62, standing at the counter, kind of dusting and putting the till onto the counter. It's still pretty early, but you know, everything's sort of opened up and they're getting ready to start. And then you also see a dwarven woman walking around the store and kind of stocking some shelves with some product and moving things around. She's probably about 200 years old in age, roughly. Definitely short, squat, like a dwarf. Auburn hair, black eyes. And as you come in, oh, hello there. Hello, welcome, customers. Quentin! Yes, dear. Customers, just take care of them. What do you folks need? Here, he can help you. I'm a little busy right now. And she gets over and starts, still working. Hey, what can I help you with?
Hi,
We're
good
just
morning.
looking for a few tents.
Okay, tents. Dear, do we have tents? Yes, we have tents. Go in the... Okay, let me go in the back and get... What kind of tents? We have a few tents. Where is it? There we go. We have, you want a small tent, a big tent, or a weather tent?
Small tents?
Small
Are those
tents?
single person or
Two
person tents?
people. 2 people could fit comfortably. Yeah.
Small tent, a big tent, and a...
Small tent, a big tent, and a...
I think if a small tent only fits 2, then we need 2 small tents.
2 small tents.
Say a weather tent?
A weather tent. Yeah, it's like a tarp. It's like a fancy tarp.
Thank you, but no. We can do 2 small. If it's 2 people each.
2 small.
How much is a large
Control.
tent?
Well, let me use the fancy Google to
Huh.
Control F, find it. Where'd it go? There it is. Small tents are 2 silver pieces each.
Oh.
A large,
And the large
a large
tent?
tent is 5 silver pieces.
I'd pay for 2 of the small tents.
Ooh, thank you. Takes the
Yeah,
4
yeah,
silver, ka-ching, puts the silver in, closes it. Let me go get those for you. And he goes in back, comes back later. 2 small tents. They take they're rolled up and they take about a size of this. And they
I take one of them and I hand 2 silver back to Jax.
Oh, okay. Thanks. You didn't have to do that. You're going on a quest for me, but I appreciate that.
I'll be using the tent though, so.
That's fair.
Anything
That's fair.
else?
All right,
Anything
well,
else? We have plenty of stuff
no,
here.
I think we have everything else.
You guys got your
maybe we all
rations?
like-
Food?
You got your
Yeah,
climbing stuff?
rations.
If you go on an adventure, you gonna climb something?
Do you
I
have any
It's fair.
grappling hooks?
Grappling hook. Yeah, totally. Looks over at his wife, and she looks at. Let me go get him. And she goes off and comes back, and she does have 2 like just the stereotypical three hooked type grappling hooks, no rope.
How much for these?
Oh god. Okay. Let me check here. So we don't really have. These are the only 2. Luckily, we have 2. Probably 3 silver each.
I'll take them.
Okay. She takes your 6 silver. You guys have your rope. You have your rations.
Yep, I can make
Yes,
fire.
I have rations.
You can make fire. That's fancy. All right. Anything else? Anything else we can help you with?
Mm,
Oh, I think that's it. I think we'll be okay with the tents.
Great.
unless there's
Well,
something else
tell
we
your
need.
friends as always.
Anyone have any
that,
trouble seeing in the dark? You Jax, are you all right?
I have torches.
All right.
I have some torches. Actually, do you have any ball bearings?
Yeah. And she
I
kind of
want a
goes
pack
and
of ball
backs
bearings.
and looks for ball bearings.
Also, if we're going into a mine or a ruin, maybe something to help us climb a bit. Any kind of climbers, tools, or kits?
Oh boy.
Busy day for you.
Shopping! Woo!
Good morning.
I know.
Ball bearing.
Climbers kits. Okay, yeah.
have
We have
rope.
one climber's kit, and she, kind of brings it out. It's kind of like in a it's in like a little box. But what comes in it, and she opens up and shows you that it comes with like some like the claw handy type things. Some like claw things for your feet a little bit. Kind of like
Pitons?
and a few pitons. And that costs. But she was like, this is hard to come by. This is 25 gold.
Gold, my. Might be a little bit expensive for my taste then.
Well, for little Lennox here, we could do 20.
How
I
badly
can
do we
get-
need to climb?
We don't know. But I can put in 10. I'll do halvesies with you.
How about just the pitons?
Just the pitons. Well, then you kind of drastically reduce the cost of the kit. But you know what? How about 5 gold for the pitons?
And how many is that? There's 3? Or how many?
Yeah, like 4 pitons.
Take those.
Okay, here you go. She takes your 5 gold.
I said 4 pitons. Pretty expensive pitons.
Well, when you ruin the cost of the whole kit.
Thank you so much for your time today. And I must say, you and your husband's relationship looks like it's getting slightly healthier every day.
Oh, thank you, child. It's been,
You're
been a good
welcome.
one.
It's a blessing to watch. All right, are we ready?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Let's do this.
Let's
Absolutely.
go.
All
Have
right.
a good one. We'll see you in a week.
A
Bye.
week?
Keep
Oh,
saying
that's-
those affirmations.
Okay. Yeah, you walk out of the town, walk out of the store. Still gray skies, and you start walking towards the gate of the palisade as you want to leave the town. The mayor does also see you and kind of gives you a polite wave. And when will we see you back? Or are you leaving for good?
No, we're just going towards the Western Rise, but we'll be back. I would say let's guesstimate 5 or 6 days,
Oh, okay.
maybe maybe a little
We'll
longer.
I'll make
But
sure they
we'll be
keep
back.
your rooms available for you then. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
All right. And that was Mayor
That's kind.
Goldbraid. You saved his daughter. He's for the people out there. He's human, male, 35ish in age, white skin, athletic build, blue hair, or blonde hair, blue eyes. Dresses better than most of the people in town, as he is the mayor and trying to uphold himself to be, a symbol of sorts. But you can also tell like his hands and stuff. He was a working man. He didn't get here just being an aristocratic type person or through
Sure.
money. He worked his way into this position.
Nice.
And you start to exit the town. The palisade's open as it's daytime. The couple guards stand out front. Seems like there's quiet. The trail, as you know, actually, if you were to follow it, will just lead back to Iyanoré. But you start to head east.
Sounds good.
Great.
And quickly
Let's go.
becomes not a road, and it's more like a dirt path at this point. Very well, the whole thing's a dirt path, but it's much more thinner. You could tell not a lot of people travel down. It's more like when you're going hiking, right, and you're not quite in the forest going hiking, like you just that thin dirt path.
The brush like
Yeah,
here.
exactly. So it's more like that, and it does lead to a stone bridge, eventually that crosses the river, which the river is in this case. Which one's this one?
I will say too, while we're going,
The Blessed Run.
I'm gonna have Dare just flitting around above us in air form, just keeping an eye on things.
Excellent. Yeah. So this little gust of air is hiding in the air.
We all have all of our pets, our little companions are on alert. I have
Crow
Lola
finally
walking
gets
in front of me.
tired.
I love it.
Yeah, Crow finally gets
Fantastic.
tired and sitting on Lennox's shoulder, but like looking backwards, just like
Oh yeah,
the opposite
yeah. No,
direction.
he's super on alert. This guy, he's not gonna
Hoping.
miss a thing.
Just watching your
okay?
back.
He doesn't
And-
like the rain.
And Lola's just trudging
point-
through the
Good.
the now. So the ground itself, like I said, it's kind of it's spring. It's still a little hard to the touch. It's been kind of cold. Doesn't get super cold in this place, but still. But with the rain and the somewhat warmer air coming in, the ground's getting a little. As you get closer to the river, it just starts getting softer and softer and softer. But you do get to like this little stone bridge that crosses the river. I say little, but it's a pretty large bridge, surprisingly. All these staples of having been built by the city of Iyanoré to assist in the town exploring beyond the river, because without it they would have to cross with a vessel of some type every time, and also because the loggers have to go across this bridge to get to the different logging areas, and without that Iyanoré would not have a steady supply of logs either from the loggers. So as you cross the river, would one of you like to roll me a d20 for today's travel?
Sure, I can roll you a d20.
It's
Let's
like
go.
it should not be me.
Woo! That's a 16.
All right. Once you're beyond this bridge, the real trails die off. There's no real trails out here. You're now in like I say lightly, it's still a forest. You are surrounded by trees. There are no trails that are easy to see. I would like for one of you to give me a survival check to keep heading in what you hope is the proper direction.
Right.
I will give it a try.
Don't want me to do it.
You don't want
11.
me to
Great.
do it either.
Yeah.
So, you know where east is, and the more you
I
walk,
do know where east is.
you would think like, okay, I know the mountains are this way, but like now you're in a forest and you don't really have that line anymore to like see, because you're walking and there's a bunch of trees in your way and stuff. But you do sort of pick up on previously, because you have, Frey, gone out and helped loggers occasionally at the different camps they have, and you're looking down. You do, oh, this is one of the logger trails. You know, safe enough to walk this little trail for now until we get to a certain spot, but eventually I'm probably gonna have to veer off a little bit in the right direction. But you have a sense of where you are. You just don't know exactly how far on the trail you are, and you just know that you have to switch directions at some point.
Recognize this part, and then a few minutes later, oh, this looks familiar, but like I don't, in terms of distance, I don't know. Okay.
But first day, fairly uneventful. You do travel the full day's distance. Nothing came out at you. Nothing really startled you. Nothing eventful happened. Super nice day, actually. Just cloudy out and kind of chilly. So you do start to want to think about setting up for camp.
Keep an eye out for a nice spot.
All right. And let's see now if I do
Try to
this.
find like a secluded area enough that has some cover.
Cool.
Maybe off the trail a little bit.
All right. For that case, then, if both of you are thinking the same thing, I will allow one of you to roll with advantage to find a spot in this forest that you think is nice, easy to set up camp.
Another survival.
Yeah, but I'll give you advantage because Jax is sort
me.
of also helping.
Okay. 23.
23.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Turn this up a little bit.
This spot is luxury. Okay.
Find a chocolate fountain is in the
This is the
woods
5-star
somewhere.
Hilton of spots.
Wow.
Wait, those aren't stones; those are diamonds.
Jesus. So yeah, you do find a little area that is a little more open, still tree covered. Again, there's no trails necessarily, and if somebody were to stumble upon here, they'd literally be stumbling upon you most likely anyway. Also, that not a lot of people come out this far. Creatures, on the other hand, you don't quite know exactly what's out there, but you do find an area that's relatively flat, pretty dry, and there is like a little there is like a little jut out of like a dirt mound sort of, but like with like a little rocky outcropping on it that you can kind of sort of place yourselves up against if you want, that you found. So yeah, you guys start to set up your tents, and let's have some fun. What do you guys do when setting up camp?
Start to gather some wood, look for some stones to make like a fire pit kind of thing. Be what I'm working on first.
Roll me a survival for that. Just keep rolling survivals all night.
Do it. Let's do it up.
You start to hear the woodland creatures, a couple of wolf sounds
19.
in the distance. Yeah, you find a couple rocks here and there, and all varying sizes. And you bring them over, and you kind of make a little circle with it. As far as the wood goes, hasn't rained in a few days, so most of the wood here is dry enough. And you find sticks and twigs, and there are dry leaves too if you want to try to use any of that. And you find some decent materials you think you can use for making a fire.
So yeah, I kind of close my hand, and the air that's been kind of flying around us disappears, and I open it back, point towards the fire, and it just turns into this flame, and then a littler flame jumps out of the fire and starts to float around.
Oh,
It's just
that's
a little
nifty.
fireball.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys see as Frey does this, and the fire lights, and then all of a sudden this little fire thing jumps out and doesn't really make much of a noise, but like it's crackling like a little fire, and it's just kind of roaming around the little campsite, just moving around, but
Just
not
kind of
not
floating
touching
around a
things.
little bit.
Yeah.
It's got tricks. All right, I like that, Frey. Interesting. Lennox, I'll help you put up your tent. Just give me 1 second. And I lean down to Lola, the bot that's just kind of like standing there, and I'm like, sentry, and then I say 10-foot radius, and then I get up and I walk over to Lennox, sorry, and Lola just starts marching around our area, staying like 10 feet away from us, but in a circle. Like,
And seeing this, I go, yeah, no problem. I'll be there in a sec. Chho, sentry.
just go, flies away.
Yes.
Out of sight. Flies away.
He's
Just
Out
gone.
of sight.
so good.
That was
so
really.
Thank you.
He's a really interesting crow.
Intuitive, empathetic,
Yeah.
even. Yeah.
I
know.
mean, also really small. Really
Would we say
Jax,
I
roll an intelligence check.
Small crow.
Can I do a survival check on the crow? Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah.
21.
You both know it's not a crow. It's a little blackbird, and it
I know.
seems aloof as hell.
I
And
know.
just
I know.
so you know. Oh, I know.
Like,
would
course I
we
knew.
say would we say small though? I think he's a pretty hefty.
what
Yeah,
I
you
meant
know,
was
so-
it's a very athletic crow. That's
Very athletic crow. Yes,
like,
yes.
That is a fit crow.
He gets that a lot. Oh no, for sure.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
You know that's
Yeah.
not a crow. You do know that's not a crow.
You guys hear
Right.
like little high pitched like little whistles.
I think when he says that, Lennox casts Druid Craft and puts out his fire.
Okay, so and then
It's like just deadpan. Whoosh.
and then as
Yeah, it
as
disappears
you do
and then-
that, as you do that, you see the little free floating ball of fire kind of turn. If it had a face, you would think you feel something looking at you, and then it walks over to the thing and just like sits in the middle again and just like lights it again, and just sits in it, and you could just feel the stare.
I look at it and I look at Jax and I
Alright.
go, Lennox got tricks too.
Hey, wow. Surprises every day, apparently. And I start taking the poles like out of the tent's set, and I start taking them out and like trying to put them into the right shape
Excellent.
for this tent. I'm like,
I think Lennox really thinks she's helping, but really she's just sort of like looking at it as you build it and like adding in facts. You know, in 19 it's just like camping about.
So the IDC said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The TBA. Interesting
the
enough,
TBA.
the TBA was
That's right.
founded in the.
"Oh boy,
Yeah,
all right,
she's not from the. She's not from the cool school.
for those."
no.
No. Oh boy.
Oh, man.
Let's just for those tuning in, the IDC.
Actually, I think that's really funny. I think she's spouting off all the things that TBA says
yeah.
about, like, well, TBA does this, 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 and this when it's comparing itself specifically to IDC.
Mhm.
It's like all the
Mhm.
reasons. Yeah.
For those out
That's
there,
what's happening.
the TBA is what I like to call the Thaumaturgical Brilliance Academy. It's a faction within the city that a lot of the wizards train at to become powerful researchers, all that sort of stuff. And then we also have another side to that coin called the IDC, which Jax is a member of and carries a license to wield. They're called the Innovative Discovery Consortium. They are they're even heavier into the research side of technology and magics and how they work together. But anyway, just throwing that little tidbit of knowledge out there. Excellent. So yeah, as you guys are kind of bickering and you think you're helping, and
As she's spouting out facts about the TBA, I'm kind of on the other side of the fire with my back turned, just setting up my tent, just like shaking. Like you can, anyone who looked over his direction could like feel the sigh coming from him as she's like spouting off all these facts.
I think she looks at you and goes, "And what school did you go to, Frey?"
Zzz. Gets in the tent.
Inside the
Zip.
tent.
Interesting. I've never.
Your
heard
tent
of
has a
that
zipper?
one.
This is amazing.
They're
It's got
nice.
like a
Pull
little
away.
like pole thing, like they just like pulls, you know.
They're nice tents. Like think like these are not a sponsor like Coleman tents.
Yeah, these are Dick's Sporting Goods.
If you
We
look
do have kind of
if you look at
technology, so the zipper may
yeah, I was gonna
exist
say
in
if you
this
look
world.
at
We
what
haven't
Jax is
discussed it.
wearing, they know how to make
That's fair.
some
I have a bunch
damn
of
good
zippers.
tents, right?
Okay, That's fair. That's fair.
Cool.
It's a magical zipper. It just holds things together. Just
Oh.
that's
They're,
the noise it makes.
they're
That's
called
how
magnets.
That's who Lennox thinks she is in the group. Is a magical zipper that's holding things together.
What a
Excellent.
little angel.
Excellent.
Man.
Okay, so you go in that tent, so Lennox goes, so are we sharing the tent?
He goes like this. You just go in there, and I go over and I'm like, Frank. I take my hammer and I hook it under where the zipper is, and I go, and I slowly open it, and I'm like, coming in there, man.
You're gonna break the zipper with your hammer. Gotta use your hand.
I can make another zipper.
We just got these tents, man.
I take my hammer away and I use my hand, and then
Thank you.
I'm like, oh wait, actually, I'm not gonna go in the tent because somebody has to keep watch.
Yeah.
I go.
We're gonna
I
do
start
a
unzipping it,
tent
and then I'm like,
swap.
wait, I'll be back. You rest, and I unzip it closed.
So,
Great.
who wants to take first watch?
I will take first watch.
Okay.
That's great.
Excellent.
Do Lennox? Do I see if you go inside the tent? Do I still see Chho?
I think Chho took off, but I'll leave the tent open a little
Crow
flat.
took off. Crow's nowhere.
Okay, so Chro's like out of sight.
Chro's an outdoor cat. I'm I'm just gonna leave the zipper open so that when Chho is ready, they can return.
Okay.
After they're done pacing, I'm sure the forest looking for dangers. They shall return.
And does the little fire thing still exist outside?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's
Just
still
kind of
outside.
floating
Okay.
around, and
It's,
every once in a while, it bounces off a tree a little bit and leaves a little char. Yeah.
yeah.
it's,
Once Lennox went into the tent, the little, for better lack of words, the little fire elemental came out of the fire and is just kind of walking around camp and doing stuff, and you know,
Okay.
kind of floating around a little bit, but not like flying necessarily. And just kind of moving around, and sometimes it sees Lola and it kind of like runs to the other side of the camp, and like then it kind of comes back and sees Lola's like, what the, and that's basically
Alright.
what it does kind of most of the night. So Jax,
Sounds good.
you are out. You start to hear the sleep sounds of your two comrades in their tents, whatever that may be.
Both equally loud snorers.
Yeah. So
technically, I'm just in a trance,
is
so I
Lennox a
just hear
snorer?
her snoring.
Yeah.
Lennox is for sure a snorer.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Excellent. Frey, you're trying to.
I'm trying to trance, but it's gonna take me 8 hours.
Yeah,
tonight.
exactly. We'll say 6. So Jax, you are outside.
Well,
It is not that dark
it's so
as
loud.
the fire is still kind of going, and every time it sort of gets dim, like it starts to die down a little bit, you see this little fire elemental kind of jump in there and kind of rekindle it just a little bit and keeps it alive, and then kind of, but also the little fire elemental is putting off its own like 10, 15 foot radius of dim-ish light, because you are a human.
Yes. Do I know what this thing's name is? This little fire moat? Does it have a name? Would I have heard you say that?
Yes, I would say in the time that we have spent together so far, the name is Dare, Dair.
Like dare to keep kids off drugs, that sort of thing?
Like that's how it sounds, but it's spelled differently. Yes.
Dare. I like it. Okay, cool. Perfect. Just curious. I could chat with it, talk with it every once in a while, say its name while it's walking around. I actually, to help a little bit, I find like as I'm walking around, I know I have these two other things walking around with me. I find like a bigger like stick, and I like take my hammer and like slam it into the ground like 10 feet away from the fire, and I'm like, hey, Dare, can you help me with that? To like light this like a torch, like light it up. I wrap some bandage
And kind
around
of,
it.
it actually just comes up and like there aren't arms. You know, you kind of see a little bit of face sometimes. There's like you can tell while it's moving, it's maybe has like limbs, but not really. But it kind of comes up, and you see two little fire wisps just gonna come around and give it a hug, and then it kind of lets go and walks away.
Perfect.
Yeah. Roll me
Add a little torch.
a perception check as you go along your watch.
That's a natty 1. Can I also roll one for Lola? Because he's patrolling.
You may. Yep, you may.
That was our first now one.
Ooh, 16 for Lola.
So Lola just stomps around. Like it's not super stealthy. It is pretty heavy. It's made out of metal, but it's just constantly. And Lola itself does not alert you to anything out there. But as you're sitting there talking to Dare sometimes, you know, hanging out with the fire, you hear lots of little noises, and you're like, "What? No, what's that? No, how about wait? Huh?" You just hear like a fluttering by your ear, but you couldn't quite see it because it just moved too fast.
He picks his hammer up and
Yeah.
like looks around and just
If
like
you hurt Chho, I'll kill you.
So yeah,
And your watch goes by fairly uneventful for Lola, but you kind of freaked out a little bit, a lot maybe, because you really haven't been this far out either, and you really haven't been like this kind of in the dark before.
yeah, it's not my favorite.
No.
It's not my favorite. Wouldn't recommend. 2 stars. I go to wake up Frey, and I'm like, "Hey, Frey, come on."
mm-hmm. Anyone's supposed to get any sleep with all that noise.
She's so small. How is it so loud? I don't
understand.
The science
It's really-
doesn't make sense.
It's aggressive. It's like all of the positivity that's coming out of her in the day comes out the opposite at night. It's almost terrifying.
Stupid.
I'm gonna try. He takes out some
Yeah.
gauze out of his pack and like balls it up and like
Nice.
Oh,
starts
I'm gonna have
going
to-
into tent.
when I come back, I may ask you for some of that.
All right.
Um,
Jax, you
Yeah.
you go to bed while you can. Frey, you are out and about now. As
Yep.
the fire, every time again, the fire dies down a little bit. Dare
Yep.
kind of hops in and rekindles it.
It's
You see a robot
15.
turtle just marching.
Kind of,
And
Dare gives off 15 feet of dim light. By the way. Just
Okay,
so-
yeah, great. That was right.
Yep,
Nice.
you're good. So yeah, he's going to pull out the spell book on his side and just kind of start to flip through it, but also keeping an eye on everything. And as he'll look around every few seconds, and then kind of flipping through again, looking at different things.
All right, roll me a d12.
E12. That's a 1.
Now roll me a perception check.
Just a second.
A perception check. Yeah.
You're crying from the other tent.
Yeah. You're like snore, scream, crying. Yeah. Perception check.
More rage and then crying.
11.
So now I'm gonna say, since you are now on watch, I will also let Dare now actually be on watch. Because when you're not around, Dare is existing in its own little world. Honestly, it's dancing to its own tune.
Kind of just doing its own
sometimes.
thing. Yeah.
But now that you're out, it's more like alert, we'll say, and like and like doing things. So roll 1 for Dare.
Would Dare give me? Would it just be like a help to give me advantage, or would it be its own thing? All right.
And
that's just
can
would be
Lola still
wisdom,
get
right?
a roll too?
I will say this: Lola is always. I'll take whatever
Doesn't
roll
sleep.
Lola gets. I'll let her keep all night.
Oh, okay. Or
We'll
you could
just
just
do it
use her
that way.
passive if you want.
What's her passive?
Like her passive is 14. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Okay, I'm fine with passive because now that you're asleep, she's just on autopilot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, great. So yeah, the night for you. 11. You know what? I know how I'm gonna play this. The night for you and Dare, pretty uneventful. A few sounds here and there. You still hear the occasionally as something is flying around the camp. Maybe occasionally you can't quite see it because it's up in the trees. But for the most part, it's kind of okay. A few sounds here and there. Nothing that makes you jump. Nothing that makes Dare jump. And nothing that makes, as far as you could tell, Lola act any differently, because she has not stopped moving the same pace the entire time. Roughly a 10-ish foot perimeter around the campsite.
Okay.
And occasionally though you do hear you hear what you think is just like Lola hitting a rock or something. Ding, ding, like pushing things out of the way. And that is your night. Who do you wake up, Lennox? Do you stay up later? How do you proceed?
Um, yeah, I think we all need to get a little bit of sleep. So I go wake up Lennox and say, kind of just shake the tent a little bit. It's your turn.
Hi. The feelings are returned, but I don't think now's the time to talk about them.
Good night. And he goes back to his tent.
She zips up the tent and heads out for watch.
Yeah, so you come on out of your tent. Frey basically
He's gonna get a
ignores
rise out of him. She's gonna do it.
you. And you see Dare out there, just this little fireball thing moving around
I
camp.
walk up to it and I say, "Hey, no offense about earlier. It's not you. It's him."
And like you do see like these two like little darker spots kind of grow on it, and like a third slightly larger spot, and it kind of looks like a little jack-o'-lantern, like meh, and then it just kind of keeps walking away.
Cute.
And then you see within your vicinity Lola just walking
Very cute.
walking
Every once in a
circle.
while, Dare just kind of like sits on the Lola's back as it's circling around, giving some light.
Nice. And Lola does not react. Lola literally does not react at all. It just keeps walking. All right. Roll me a perception check as you are keeping watch for your camp.
Yeah.
14. Halflings. Do halflings have dark vision?
No, but I was gonna talk to you about that, and because it kind of would make sense that she does, because I think you know why. It makes sense.
I don't remember, to be totally honest. We could talk about that later.
Yes.
So
But I can also use the fire and stuff to light
Sure.
for myself.
I will say this also, dark vision in this game, right? Because like dark vision, a lot of games use it as like basically like, oh, we're in a cave, doesn't matter, I have dark vision, I can see everything. But dark
Right.
vision is gonna be much more limited. Homebrew rules. Just in general, dark vision isn't as powerful in this world, where you still see like shades of gray, unless there's light source, then it's just like normal vision. But beyond that, it's not like, oh, I can see that dark vision beyond that fire. If you were in like pitch black, like if you have dark vision, you can get around by not bumping into walls like in a cave, but it's only gonna go for about 15-ish feet, and it's still gonna be very like hard to see, unless you were the only whatever species, whatever you want to call them. Dwarves are the only thing in this world that have like pretty darn good dark vision, we'll say. But everybody else, it's mostly surface dwellers. They haven't lived in dark their whole lives / for multiple generations. But from there we can discuss. But yeah, 14. You hear a couple noises in the night, and at one point, the whole area around you kind of gets quiet, like real quick. You do hear the as something flies by you. And eventually Chho does land on your shoulder. He just goes,
Hey, bud.
that's it, little whistle. But then it grows eerily quiet, like the nature around you stops making noises, and you just kind of hear like a low growl, and then nothing. And then about 2 minutes later, the forest noises start back up. Couple of things flapping around, crickets, couple birds. As now you're encroaching a little bit of light time, where the light just starts poking up, and it's not pitch black out anymore, and the sun is slowly rising. And that night, everybody was safe.
Good.
Apparently.
That's nice.
We did it.
We didn't die on our first sleepover. I mean, camp out. So,
Aw.
Lennox,
I think-
as the day starting, the lights starting to shine through. How do you wake them up? How do you do that? What do you do?
No, I make them a hearty breakfast. So
Roll me a survival check for cooking.
amazing.
okay.
Are you
Uh,
are you utilizing your
Ray
pocket
hears
bacon?
all of this happening. He's been up for like 2 hours just reading,
Oh, thank God.
but he's in his tent.
All right.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that's right. Frey would be kind of up. So yeah, so obviously you take out your rations, some of your pocket bacon. The fire's still going thanks to Dare. You set up like a little pan over it, and you start to kind of warm things up, and eventually Jax, you kind of come to and you kind of smell it like, oh, breakfast, and
Wow.
and you see Frey just sitting right next to you, just reading his book.
Think she's cooking.
I was not expecting that, but I appreciate it.
All right, you open up the tent, hop on out, and
Morning, adventurers, and welcome to the second day of our adventure. Here is some hearty protein
Woo.
to keep you ready and alert.
Thank you. You know, this reminds me of my cadet days when we were, young and stupid. We didn't
Ah,
know
you're still
anything.
young and stupid, I can tell. Here we go.
You're quick. You're quick.
Oh, thank you.
I like it. And he takes.
What
some
is
of the food from you.
breakfast? What did you make?
I think I would have made like this is the one that I like, so I think that's what you made too. It's sausage and eggs, but you chop the sausage up and you mix them in with the eggs so that every bite is like the perfect bite.
oh yeah, sausage egg scramble, right?
And she is absolutely selling that fantasy to you as she gives it to you. Every bite is the perfect bite.
Okay. Yeah, great. I love that. It's not protocol, but I think it's good. I think it's good for the weary on the
Great.
road. We need this.
Takes a bite. No cheese, huh? All right. Well, it's next time.
Oh damn.
Okay.
Cheese.
Next time.
Some light music comes
Firewall, not as impressive as cheese in the scramble.
in. You guys start hearing the
I'm gonna
morning
make a note of that.
birds cheeping and all stuff. Lola's still doing her perimeter.
Yeah.
Dare doing her
Yep. Still
thing.
going.
And this is the morning. A wind kind of blows in, a chilly wind. But you do roll me well, either A, do your druidcraft spell, or and also somebody roll me a d20 for today's
For weather?
Oh,
weather adventure day.
Yeah, Drew
Weather
Crossbow.
Adventure Day.
Done.
I'll roll the d20. 3. My dice rolls are just on
the
point
wind
so far.
The wind is sweeping in. It's a little chilly. And Lennox, as you open up your palm, the sphere comes back.
Crackles.
Little crackle fireworks glitches out for a second, and then right as it's like
Wrong station.
wrong station, and like a cloud starts to form, and as it's forming, a big old water drop hits you in the head, and it starts raining, and then the form turns into a dark cloud and starts raining right before.
And I look
the rain
Frey
hits you.
dead in the eye and I say, there's a 30% chance that it's already raining.
That's funny.
Thanks.
Good stuff. All right, and it's
Classic.
Pulls up his hood, gets
Yeah.
his tent back together, doesn't say a word.
As you guys start to clean up camp, do any of you kick out the fire?
I'll tell Jax about the growl I heard last night. I mean,
Oh.
like, not in any dramatic way. Just say, oh, there was something out there last night.
All right. Well, we'll keep
I,
our ears and eyes out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of pull Dare away, reform as water, put out the fire.
You see this little ball of water fall onto the fire, like, and it puts out the fire, and then it kind of comes up. It's like steamy at first, and it kind of reforms into like this little.
Yep. Yeah. Think like flubber. It's like a little,
amorphous
little just
creature.
ball.
And,
I like that
and when
your
it does
little
that,
familiar thing is quirky and crazy, and my little familiar is angry.
I don't know what you're getting at.
Want to spend time with me.
yeah, and as you were making breakfast, Chho already flew away, and you haven't seen him since.
For sure. Yeah. No, he's got stuff to do. He's got meetings to take. He's a
Yeah.
busy crow.
Exactly.
I call Lola back in while they're doing their stuff, and I'm like, come back in. And when it comes
Lola-
over to me, I I take out a little screwdriver and I go to like clean off its feet that have all this mud and like sticks and debris from just marching for like 8 hours. I'm like,
And as you're doing that, as protocol dictates in the morning, a little flap opens up, and it's like a little speaker, and it replays what it heard last night, and it also heard like this deep, hungry growl.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Just
oh
That's
yeah,
cool.
Oh,
oh wow, that's would I have any
You
idea
heard that
what kind of a
too?
growl that was?
Yeah, you know, it's what's interesting in the moment. It didn't resonate in my chest quite the same way, but yeah, that was it.
roll me a nature check.
Nature check.
Yeah, all of you heard it. All a group nature check. Let's go.
17, not terrible.
15.
I have no idea.
If you had to guess, you're thinking like maybe like a not quite dog-like, maybe closer to bear-like, but the way it sounded almost sounded cat-like.
Like a
Wait.
mountain lion, but in like the forest almost.
Yeah.
What
Great.
if
Do
it
we
was
know
like
if anything like that would live out here?
Are there? Well, can you tell me? Are there like dog cat bears that
I don't.
inhabit these woods?
If I know, do we know anything about like the animals in the forest?
I think that okay, since he's
the answer's
asking
no, I haven't
Lennox
been very
specifically,
confident.
Lennox can
Yes.
roll a nature check.
Okay. kind of.
It's like a cat dog hybrid that is the size of a bear.
Cat dog.
Because I need to know that.
Come on.
Such a weird
Come on,
show growing
nature.
up. Cat dog. Yeah,
Yes,
look that up.
18.
and
Oh,
know
I'm
what
sorry,
that-
that was loud. Yes,
No, you're good.
18.
18.
Yeah,
Um,
say two.
Don't take
with
that
with
second
an
one, that one was
18, I
loud.
mean you've lived in Riverton long enough. You've seen creatures out there, deer, other
Yeah.
stuff. You've seen bears. Bears are common, and bears have been known if they're hungry enough to maybe attack some. If you're out there by yourself, like you would be a snack. You would know, like if I was out here alone, maybe a
I
bear
do
would try
know.
to come
I'm a
get me.
snack.
You're a snack.
You don't have to tell me that.
Let's talk about that.
Lennox is fully aware.
Excellent.
Oh,
and
You're just adding
you
fuel to this fire.
you have heard stories, but you
You're a
have not
snack.
seen them. But you know such things as dire wolves are out in the wild.
Okay.
And just for the sake of how, I mean, all of you guys are relatively more intelligent than all of you have been schooled in some form of way. Roll like just a history or arcana check, as not only just beasts live out here. I'll allow that.
all of us, or
Lennox again. She's the one who specifically
Oh, I got a natural one on that
arcana.
one.
Yeah, no, just maybe a dire wolf,
Perfect.
maybe a big old bear. Just let's keep our eyes out for a big old beastie type thing if we're not careful, you know.
That helps.
Great.
That helps. I'm into it.
All right,
I'll
and
keep an eye.
so
I just want to, for whenever we do the traveling bit,
Mhm.
this is spouted like Lennox is telling you every story about every wolf that you were told as a child in my town. Once there was a dire wolf and a young boy on the trail, and then he came out onto the trail. It's like every scary monster
Jesus.
story.
and then the boy died. Yes, it's the same story over and over again.
No, but this
get
one's
it.
real. My cousin knew him,
Hmm.
so that one really happened for sure. I'm pretty sure. Though
If
she
all
did
of these
lie.
happened, your
my
village
God.
wouldn't exist. Everyone would be dead.
It's interesting when you meet folklore and logic. You
Mm.
know, so the magic that can be made in between. Your
Mhm.
input is so insightful, Frey, and
Sure.
I really appreciate every time. Every time you deem me worthy to talk to, I just want you to know I really appreciate it. There was also this story one time that was
Oh, God.
so
And as
Thanksgiving.
Lennox keeps going on and on about these stories, driving Frey kind of crazy. Let's take a
Oh,
little
my God.
break. Hello. All right, break's over. Let's put on some rainy music.
Woo!
Some sunny music.
And in the distance, you do hear little thunders here and there.
The perfect day.
Yeah, the perfect day.
Oh, man.
As you guys starts raining a little harder and harder. Dare loves it. Dare is just like a little blob of water just going through the forest as the water is hitting them.
Splashing into puddles and like becoming the puddle and then popping out. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Blackbird likes to hide under my cloak, Crow, when
Mhm.
it's wet. So I've got my cloak up, and he's sitting right here.
Crow, yes, Crow is hiding in your hood and kind
Crow,
of
the
cuddled up
blackbird.
next to you. Crow the blackbird is cuddled up next to you, hiding from the water.
That's why it's the perfect day.
Still
It's the
cheaping,
only time
still
he'll get
cheaping
close
here
to
and there.
me.
Awesome. Let me just check this. Everything looks good. This is a little. Come back to me. Haha. Whatever. The lighting's terrible. Anyway, so yeah, as the rainy day starts, where we last, you guys started walking through the rain. Everything seems fine, except now you're trying to look at a map in the rain, and you don't want the map to get soaking wet. So like you're stopping and like have your head over, and you're like pulling the map out and trying to keep it close to you. But you're looking around. You don't really see any landmarks, as like you're deep in a forest now. Roll me with the weather. Like roll me a survival check at disadvantage. But because you are looking at a map, and do a flat roll. Do a flat roll.
Could I could I
Could you?
send Dare up, take a look around,
I don't know. Can
and
you?
maybe even look? Well, I can.
Okay.
I would like to send Dare up, take a look around,
All right.
and then as Dare is kind of above the tree line, I want to blank myself and look through them.
All right. Do you steady yourself? You like put your hand on a tree or something, or?
Yeah, I find something that I kind of like lean up against a tree and can have something that I'm hanging on to.
Yeah, you guys see his face sort of leans up against a tree, and then if you kind of look at his face, you see that his eyes just kind of go white. And yeah, roll me a perception check, but through Dare's eyes, as Dare sort of wibble wobbles up the tree in his water form and goes to the top of the tree line.
Sure.
I would say at advantage since you're up there.
All right.
22, you might not even need it.
Nice.
A 22 again.
Double
Okay.
22.
Double 22s.
Two twos.
Two.
Hell yeah.
Two.
You see two. No. So yeah, you look up and well, you don't look up. You look through Dare's eyes.
Who is now wind form, by the way. That's the one that.
Oh, okay. You just turn into wind form because yeah, he can do that. So he flies up to the top and takes a look around, and I mean it's pretty darn cloudy out, pretty darn rainy out. But you do see you are closing the distance on this on the mountain line, and you do see that it's you're still heading the right rough direction. So I will allow you to roll a survival check. It's still at a flat roll, just due to the terrain and the tree lines and the rain.
8.
So you start trudging through the forest, and the forest floor is getting pretty wet, pretty muddy, and it's not a fun time for any of you, especially poor little Lennox's small little legs. And it's a wet, sloppy mess. And we'll just say that the rain does start to let up about late afternoon. And the sky starts to clear a little bit, but you definitely it took you a lot longer to get through the forest. With unfortunately, you weren't really going in the right direction. You actually end up finding an old logging camp, one of the furthest away from the town. So you know that you're heading the right direction, but you would think like, oh, we would have been a little further by now. But like it's just like this abandoned logged area. Trees are chopped down. It's very open. You don't see much in there. But I would like for all of you to roll me a perception check.
Sure. 17.
And the bird cheeps start to come out.
13.
11.
All right, Fred. As you get this clearing, literally clearing, as the rain starts to let up finally. Still kind of gray out, but you do start seeing the birds starting to chirp again. Crow flies out of your hood, just flies off into the forest.
Surveillance.
Lo- Lo-
Surveillance.
Lola's at your side, Jax, and Frey. You take a look around, and with a 17, quickly from like the left of you, you do notice something in the distance. But you definitely see something kind of dart through the trees. You didn't really
My hand up.
catch any sort of shape. That's where that is.
I'm moving in the tree line.
I draw my hammer.
Did you guys see something?
Yes.
He said something in the tree line.
Oh, I thought he just ran towards the tree line.
No,
No!
saw
Did
something.
he? I'm sorry. Did he have like a direction of the?
So it
in
would have
tree
been to the
line?
left
You
of
saw
him.
it? To the left. He
Yeah,
points
yeah,
over
yeah.
to the left. Okay, cool.
So
I kind of
you
like-
guys
I
you
nod
guys
in
kind
that
of
direction.
entered this logging camp area where trees have been a bunch of the trees have been felled. It's kind of like in a big circle, and he noticed something. So like let's say you walk to like the middle of this area and you do see like to the left something moved in the tree line, but you didn't quite catch out a shape or anything.
I'm gonna quickly cast Blade Ward on myself.
Okay. You guys see as he casts this thing, and kind of gets like this like somewhat like a. How does this look? Does it look like anything?
It looks like a magic. You kind of see this quick like runic ward in front of him, but it's you both would understand magic, know how it looks. This looks a lot more kind of jagged, more like less refined, more primal in a sense. But it seems to kind of click into place, and then spell takes effect.
Can I cast mage armor on myself?
You may, sure.
Great.
You guys just see all these little sparks kind of up Lennox's little body.
Yeah, and I think it like looks like if there's tiny fireworks that are outlining the mage armor, like very tiny little kind of darting all around, giving the outline of where the armor is.
Occasionally,
sitting.
one just like.
Yeah.
I also cast Blade Ward on myself.
Oh, fancy.
Take that. But instead of casting a spell, he's got these big bulky gloves on. His hammer's in his one hand. The other one has a button on it. He's like, and the blue line goes, and that's it. You just see the blue line on his jumpsuit lights up, and it goes from his neck down to his arms.
As all of you are like kind of standing there, like sort of like you cast your blade wards and your mage armors, you get ready. Like 20 seconds, 30 seconds pass. Nothing. Silence.
You said there was something the other night, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like a creature, a wolf, bear, cow, or something.
I think it's probably a dire wolf or a bear, but a wolf bear cow sounds very interesting. I'll tell that to him when I get home.
Great.
Well, maybe.
Are we being tracked? Maybe following us?
Possibly. Or it's just a hungry animal.
It's a hungry animal.
You could try to roll a survival check.
I will try to do that.
Frey is normally pretty aware, we'll say, and doesn't want to be followed in most situations. 22.
22.
You heard something. Lennox said something growled last night. Lola replayed the sound, and like I said, it kind of sounded like maybe a creature that could be hungry, right? It just sounded it wasn't a happy growl. And then you saw something darting off in around the forest in the tree line. Definitely, I would say this with that roll, you definitely know that something was trying to not be seen by you.
Okay. Did it have a similar, like with the perception check? Did it seem like a similar kind of weightiness, size from the sound, like crunching and moving and stuff?
It was pretty big. For you to see it, you saw it because of how big it was. What'd you roll? You rolled a 17.
17.
So something definitely blurred out of your sight. But I'll say this: you saw like a mass no necessarily not necessarily like a shape, but you saw something trail behind it slightly, like a few feet in back of it, but it was still attached, but something like trailed it as it swiftly moved out of your sight.
Hmm. It's reminding me of what you heard last night. Say we keep a very close eye. Maybe have Lola kind of scouting out a little bit ahead.
Sure.
Is
I don't
this
Yeah,
where
know.
she can
we're
always.
Does
is this where
Lola
we're
do that?
camping? No?
It's
Okay.
like
No.
it's like late afternoon.
Great.
Yeah, Lola can go ahead of us a little bit. She can perceive things and warn us. Uh, right, Lola? And the tortoise head like angles up and she goes, "Rrr," and then
Hmm.
like that's like the first noise you've heard it make, and then it just can stay about 30 feet ahead.
All right. So, Lola marches roughly 30 feet ahead of you guys, and you begin to move again, I assume.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Tentatively.
form up into a
Can
type of
we?
marching order of any sort?
Can I try to stealth?
You may.
I'm gonna try. I'm not very good at it.
Yeah. Do you? So yeah. How do you guys proceed? Do you guys?
Natural 20.
Okay. Well, then you stealth at a natural 20.
I'm gonna tell Lola to stealth too, like walk a little if possible.
Okay.
A 6.
Yeah.
Rolled
I
a
think that-
Lola's quiet.
Lennox is going to position herself probably between the two guys because she has cover and can hide in those positions if she needs to. So
That's fair.
probably middle for Lennox.
I think the route you're going is as you see Frey start to really like kind of not get low, but just like get into a position you tell like he's gonna be careful moving forward. Let's just do a group stealth check.
I'm not good at stealthing.
All right.
9.
As you guys enter the tree line again, Frey, you kind of start. You're being much more cautious now. You're staying close to trees. You're kind of looking in all directions, kind of trying your best to. If you saw something from the left, you want to keep tree line. You want to keep trees to your left to block that line
right.
of sight. While Lennox and Jax and unfortunately 30 feet ahead, Lola is not doing so well. They're kind of
like
walking between the trees, and like they get up to a tree and like they're on the left side of the tree, and like then like you know Lennox goes like into a bush. And it's like making all the sound.
I think too, whenever she like trips over something, she's like, "Oh, sorry." Okay.
Yeah, little oops and sorries here and there.
Sorry. Yeah, okay.
And how close are all of you?
say fairly.
Within
Probably
5
keeping
feet.
within.
Okay.
I would stay close to Lennox, but probably give Frey a little bit of leeway. Like me and
Say-
Lennox would probably give Frey just a little bit of distance.
Sure.
Okay.
Because we
Like
know
10
Frey
like
is a
10
kind of
feet.
is slightly stealthy,
Okay. Okay, great.
more than I am.
So you guys kind of keep pushing forward. You're being careful. You're walking slow. Frey's ahead of the pack, we'll say. Being very careful. You kind of look back though, and every so often you just like checking it, and like you know Lennox kind of trips on a bush.
Sorry.
God.
I try to catch Lennox. I'm like,
And as you actually okay, so as you catch kind of Lennox trying to help her, you also sort of like oh, and you kind of like lose your footing a little bit, and then you look back and you see like this weird shimmer, almost like weird like movements, but nothing's there. And then these spikes form and come down and try to attack Lennox.
I knew this thing was after me. I knew it.
And let's just have some fun with maybe this.
Oh.
There we go. And so this spiked like hand, not hand, but like weird diamond shaped sort of object comes out from nowhere and comes down, and two of them try to attack poor Lennox.
Okay.
A thwap does a 22 hit. Unfortunately, you take 6 bludgeoning damage and 6 piercing damage combined.
Okay.
As the hit lands, you see like this body sort of start to appear, and roll me an intelligence check, Jax. See if you know what this creature is.
Arcana check?
Arcana check would work. Yep.
Yes. 21.
You see as this form kind of like corporealizes basically in front of your vision. It is in fact a very large displacer beast.
Oh, come on!
That you've only really read about in books and have never seen, but when now you're standing next to it because you're right next to Lennox, it is imposing. And now I would like all of you to roll initiative. Let me just bring out the initiative tracker.
Boy.
For us.
Hey, good for you.
I rolled a 4.
Thank you. Is that me? Are you saying that too?
All right, I'm just gonna write these down for now because I'm not using the basic initiative tracker. Okay, we got Frey with a 16.
Can you not see mine?
I did not see your roll. What did it do? Oh no,
It says-
22.
20.
Yeah, 22. Yeah, you got a natural 20.
DJ, get
You got hit, and you're like, oh god, go time.
I said not today. Not in front of Frey.
Exactly.
Don't let him see my weakness.
Gosh.
Jesus Christ. Good job. Good jab. All right. So yeah, you took that hit.
Like a pretty solid hit there.
Yeah, you took a pretty solid hit, and well, hey, guess what? It's your turn.
Okay, so we don't have a map we're working with right now.
Nope.
There are
All
two
on your
displaced-
mind. You guys are basically surrounded by trees, and there is for lack of words to describe this beast, now that you've gotten hit by it, there's a tentacle with all these piercing teeth-like spine things on it, like attached to you, and it's like as it rips it away, you see another one kind of raise up, and then another one. There's 4 of these tentacles raising up against this large, 6-legged, giant panther-like creature with huge mouth. Like the mouth it could possibly like bite you whole almost. It is a big lady.
Hey.
And you are for better lack of terms, you are in combat with it.
Yes, no problem. Okay, so first I'm going to cast Misty Step.
And you teleport 20-30 feet away or so from it.
Yes, and I want to get up into a space in the trees where I still have eyesight with it, or eye line with it, but I'm out of it.
Okay, so you kind of teleport up onto a tree branch. Just because you're teleporting onto a somewhat smaller object, I would say roll me a acrobatics check. Just because. A 10, no problem. You get your footing. You're on there. Like, oh, okay, I'm here, and that's where you are right now. So that was your bonus action.
My bonus action. And then I need to wild magic surge. A d20. So do I do that in? I can do that in here.
Yeah, you can just roll a d20. I think. I don't think there's a special thing for it. A 2.
Okay, great, perfect. Nothing happens.
Okay.
And
okay.
then I think for my action,
Mhm.
I don't know if there's anything I can really do. I'll go throw a dagger.
Okay, throw a dagger.
Okay, trying to find my attacks.
You can't. So if you cast a spell, you can cast a cantrip as your action if you want to. Just throwing it
I
out there.
can.
You can.
Mhm.
So if you cast a spell with like a bonus action, any level spell, you're still allowed to cast a cantrip as your action.
Okay, great. I will
yeah.
cast True Strike then.
Okay.
Just to make sure that the next time I attack, it gets advantage on it.
So True Strike works differently now.
Yes.
Oh,
Check
okay,
your
great.
page because it might be in there. It's even better for you. It basically just gives you a weapon attack that you can do, but you use your spellcasting modifier. So if you wanted to throw that dagger, you can do it with True Strike, but you're using your
Cool.
charisma for attack and damage rolls.
Okay, fun. Yeah, I will still cast True Strike.
Great.
Great. On the creature. And that's
Yeah.
it.
All right, go for it. Cast. You still have to. Now you have to roll to hit with your spell modifier.
Hold on.
He could set up an. I'm not sure if it's there in Roll20, but
Yeah.
you can set it up.
It
so
may
it's
not be
easier.
in there. But
What's there? It just says what casts at what level cantrip.
The 1.
1? Okay, great. I don't.
I mean,
think
it doesn't do it any additional damage at this point. But if you just roll like a spell attack,
Just yeah. Roll. Just it's okay.
But
Roll,
isn't it
roll a
when I
d20.
had-
Hmm?
Okay. I
Yeah,
thought
just
it
roll a
was just when I
d20 and we'll
attacked
add your
it.
spell attack to it. So you roll a 14 plus your spell
Uh-huh.
modifier, which is it's on your second page.
plus your proficiency too. So
Plus your proficiency bonus.
My spell
Well-
is like my spell attack bonus.
Yep.
Yeah.
6. It's
6.
plus
Okay, great.
So 20.
So 20. So you hit. You definitely hit. And this you cast your little spell on your dagger and throw it and straight into the one of the displacer beast's tentacles. Now you can just roll your dagger damage for now, or 1d6
it'll be a
or something, right, Joe?
well, the D4. It's a D4 plus charisma.
I got you.
D4
So
plus
D4
4,
plus
or
charisma,
whatever
go.
your charisma is.
Do I need to get this dagger equipped beforehand? Because it's
No,
not.
it's
It's
fine.
in my items.
You just
okay,
threw a
but it
dagger.
won't.
You just kind of
I know, but it won't let me roll it, so I can give you guys what
I'll
it
just
is.
roll a d4 for now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
and then just add the
4
Nice.
plus what's your charisma bonus? 4.
Yes.
Whew. So yeah, you deal solid hit. You deal 8 damage to this displacer beast. Holy cow! And it's kind of like and does like this massive hiss. Good turn. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
All right, Frey. You can act, and at this very moment, what the heck? Something was beeping loud. That's annoying. Okay. At this, you hear. Sorry, Frey. You believe that this displacer beast actually doesn't know that you're around.
it's about to, because Frey turns around, and as he's running back towards it, he just grows in size into this huge rocky creature. He pulls out his shield off his back and pulls out his longsword
Mm-hmm.
and runs up to this thing and turns it this large, just hulking rock beast.
Okay.
With kind of a large stone shield
big
now.
old stone shield and like this big old beating
old-
stick, basically.
Pretty much.
Awesome. Do your thing.
So, gonna attack it. Ooh, that's not good. A 12.
12 does not hit. As you kind of you're like rumbling towards it as this like
I
earth
forgot about-
elemental. You come down and you're like ready to hit, ready to hit this thing. It just does like a leap to the side, and you just totally whiff the thing as it dodges out of the way.
I forgot about reckless attacks, but that's on me. So I will just kind of stand there and yell at it.
Really, it's like rumble, 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 as you don't really make sound.
Yeah.
For this instance. Excellent. All right. So this beast starts to waver back and forth, and Jax, you're really close by. So it actually takes. It tries to lunge at you with its mouth and tries to take a bite out of you. Does a 20 hit?
It does.
Okay. You will take 10.
I will shield it.
And what's your AC? No.
My AC is an 18 normally.
So yeah, as the place is like its teeth are like right about to hit you right in like your like, right here, like right onto your like chest area. You put up that shield and then like you see like a tooth just kind of like gets chipped a little bit, and then as you stand there, just 2 whips come down and try to like catch you on the back.
Oh gosh.
Which because of your shield.
And my actual shield.
May
that I-
not
that I
hit.
draw.
Yeah, you draw your shield, but like the you just can tell like the bear, it's like taking the hits, and it's your okay, and that is its turn. Now we're on to Jax. It is your turn.
I will take out my hammer and I will try to hit it back. And I'm gonna go Lola. And I will try to hit it.
And as you're trying to defend yourself, Lola turns around and starts marching towards you. 16,
Lola's
a
40
16,
speed.
A 16 hits. Yeah. You actually see as like the when it normally walks, it's just kind of chilling, but then it's like goes into like its eyes kind of glow like more like a red, and its legs just start like flailing towards it, so it's like going so fast, like comes like tearing apart across the ground. It's like a tortoise on
16?
crack. 16 hits.
All right, nice. 7 bludgeoning damage.
7 bludgeoning damage. You kind of like hit this thing in the neck, and you definitely see the indent, but it's like and it like wants to bite back at you. Lennox, it is your turn as you were up in a tree.
Oh wait, and I'm going to attack with Lola as well.
Oh, okay, yes, Lola.
Lola's within range to use their shock pulse.
Yes,
Lola runs back,
gets
within 15 feet of this thing, and opens its mouth, and a little like bolt of electricity flies out.
Sweet.
24.
Yeah, that hits.
Boom! 6 lightning damage.
Nice. All right, yeah. You see like a little scorch mark on one of its 6 shoulders. Excellent. Lennox, it is your turn.
Cool. So first she's going to spend how many sorcery points? 1 sorcery point to cast Careful Spell, which basically means that you guys automatically save and don't even take half damage if the spell that I'm about to cast hits you, which I think in Lennox's case is good. I changed what I took because I was like, you know what? I think we need some caution. Okay. And she's gonna, Careful Spells, so she's gonna cast the fire Agnazar's Scorcher.
Ah, yes, Agnazar's Scorcher. Great. This jet of flame comes out of your hands down onto the creature and towards Frey and Jax. But you kind of like, as it's coming out of your hand, it starts big and kind of comes into a really tight line and just hits this Blazer Beast. Blazer Beast must make a dexterity saving throw. Which, don't have that. A 13?
My spell save DC is 14.
All right,
So they fail.
do
And they
full
take
damage.
3d8.
Roll 3d8. Hell of a
11.
spell. 11. Whew. All right, this Blazer Beast taking some hits. Excellent. Anything else for your turn while you're up in a tree?
No, maybe I'm good. That's
Okay.
it.
Frey, it is your turn. As a Displacer Beast, you see it has a little scorch mark from lightning, got lit up on fire. One of the tentacles is kind of like laying limp and kind of holding it close to its body. What do you do?
I'm going to try to impose myself between it and Jax as much as I can and try to get in the way, but I'm going to also attack it again.
All right, yeah, there's not really, you're huge, so there's not really a lot of movement within the area unless you physically want to push Jax out of the way or try to physically push the Displacer Beast back. You have those 2 options. Or do you want to just beat on it?
Oh yeah, because that would be my action though to push one of them, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Then I will just beat on it.
Right.
And actually I will reckless attack.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
20.
Okay. Roll that damage.
Yeah.
Or 16 damage.
14. Oh, plus 2, 16. Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's a big old hit.
And
This thing lets out like a really high pitched cry. And that's what happens.
And its next attack has disadvantage
Oof.
because of sap and the longsword.
Okay. It is the Displacer Beast's turn. This thing kind of like it's kind of sitting there getting low to the ground, and you could tell like it's feeling the pain. It's not feeling so great, and but it's still as you beat on it, it doesn't really know what to do. So it's gonna lunge at you and like kind of jump on you and just try to like wail into you with all its attacks. So first one's going to be bite at disadvantage.
But also, I'm reckless attacked, so it's straight.
12, oh, okay. So, but a 12 misses.
12 misses.
And then the next two are base attack.
Next two would be at advantage because I have reckless.
Oh, that's fun.
It's only one attack that
Gotcha.
gets.
All right, does a 23
advantage.
hit?
23 does hit.
Does a 20 hit?
Yes.
Okay. First one, you take 6, 7, 8 damage, which reduced down to 4.
4.
And the next one, you take 14 damage, reduced down to 7.
7.
And this thing's like tearing into you, and you could tell it's desperate because like you hurt it pretty bad, and it's trying now to defend itself instead of claiming a small meal. But that is its turn. Jax, you are up as your large earthen friend is beating the shit out of this.
I am going to... Let's see. My earthen friend has taken some damage. I'm going to use a medicine kit. I'm going to use a healer's kit on Frey.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unorthodox as it's a giant rock being at the moment. But you know that it's... Yeah,
He's well trained in medicine to know how to fix something.
Actually,
when home rules get weird, I would say when Frey's doing this kind of thing, I don't think a standard medicine kit would work on him.
And I am not going to do that. I'm going to use my hammer again on the Displacer Beast. So Frey's kind of in front of me now, so in taking up the space.
You're both right next to each other, but the Displacer Beast is sort of more on Frey, so like you have some room to kind of move around it if you wish.
Could I move out of its range, or would it hit me?
You have a feeling that it would still probably try to attack you.
Then I will. I'll just hit it with my hammer while I'm here. 14 is probably gonna miss.
14 does not hit. You try to go in for the swing, and you kind of stop short, and you hit it in the leg, but it doesn't seem to be affected. Like you didn't really get a good solid hit into it.
And then I will have Lola attack it again with a shock pulse. 20.
Why is Lola awesome? Yes, a 20 hits.
Yo, Lola is the hero of this whole campaign, and nothing's even happened yet. 7 lightning damage.
Okay, that's a number. Good stuff. Oh boy, lets out this howl as you can tell now. It's the shock actually kind of rips apart a little bit of the skin as it's starting to weaken, and this thing is bloodied.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And it is now the Displacer Beast's turn, and with that, the Displacer Beast it looks at its surroundings and then kind of looks up at Lennox.
Didn't it just tear me up?
Huh? No, it was.
Sorry,
it's Jackson. Now it's Lennox's turn. It's Lennox's turn. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was looking at. It was reversed. I'm still learning names.
No?
You thought my name was Displacer Beast?
Yes.
I mean, I can see how. Yeah.
It's easy mistake. I'm gonna cast Magic Missile. Which is 1d4 plus 1. Do we decide if we're doing just roll 1 dice and use it 3 times?
You do
or roll
just
3
hit
dice?
it 3 times.
Okay, great. And it's a d4, right?
Yep.
Great. And then it's supposed to be 1d force plus 1 force damage.
For each is it each one missile or is
for
it
each,
just okay?
for
so
each
plus,
one?
plus
so it'd be
3. So that's 12.
plus 3.
So these 3 little firework darts.
Crackers.
One of them goes down the tree like in a spiral before it even hits the thing. One goes straight, and the other one goes off around a tree and back and hits it. And these three firework darts hit this thing, dealing 12 damage, bringing this thing down a little lower. It did not like that. Anything else from Miss Lennox up in the tree?
No, that's
All
it.
right. Excellent. Now it is Frey's turn, as this beast was on you with these darts, and now it's your turn.
The Frey is gonna move around it a little bit to get into a flanking position with Jax.
Yeah. Now this thing is like you
Kind
can
of
see it
moving on
looking
his
back
own.
and forth and it's starting to like kind of freak out.
Yep. So how did you want to do flanking?
So for us for flanking, it's about the same honestly as advantage, but I'm just doing a +4 to your hit.
Okay. So I will not attack recklessly, and I will attack with flanking with my longsword. Nope, I don't know why that did that. A 12 though.
Wow.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you kind of got in a position, and then you go to
Yeah,
snack
12
down.
and a
But
13.
this thing looks like it's on high alert now. It did not expect to have to fight off a giant rock thing, and didn't know it was gonna get blown up by a fire spell, and then this like weird metal turtle thing is zapping it. So it's like really being careful and kind of dodging around and being really squirrely. And unfortunately, you miss.
All right, it's kind of just smash the sword against the shield a little bit, kind of make noise and keep it on him.
And as you make the big noise, you can see it's like ears. It just goes back and like, and it actually ends up just darting away from you as it disengages and tries to squirrel its way out of you and just takes off into the forest. Does
it
not
actually disengage?
want
Or
to be-
do it?
Yes, it just disengages
Okay.
as its action and runs very fast, and within seconds from where you guys are standing, you already don't see it because of the dense forest.
I still chase it for like 30 feet.
Yeah,
Just to,
well,
like-
you try to chase it, and so you're about, even if it moved its full speed in game terms, it's about 20 feet ahead of you, but 20 feet in this forest is still pretty hard. So you can kind of see it, but you could see it is just hauling ass.
Yep. I chase it about 30 feet to like let it know that
You mean business?
we're ready to go, and then kind of turn around after that.
Excellent. And with that, the forest around you starts to quiet. You feel like whatever was hunting you, which was that, is now much further away from you. And Lennox is up in a tree.
I think it's safe to come down now. I think it's gone.
Yes. The
I
thing
kinda- I
is
take my
with
rocky hand and I-
Misty Step.
Put my hand up is like I reach my hand up. Can I get close?
You stand in this form, maybe
I'm a large creature, so
Yeah.
10 feet to
We'll-
the head.
we'll
So
say
I'm
10
thinking
feet
maybe a
ahead.
little higher with the arm.
With the arm reach, we'll say 15 feet. She's probably about 20.
Lord.
We'll say 20 feet up. She found a good branch about 20 feet up. So Lennox, see it? There's a shield. There's a big giant rock thing underneath you, about 5 feet away. You could probably jump down and not hurt yourself.
I shall do so.
And you do so, and you help Lennox down.
And I kind of
said-
help you down, but also just like give you a little push at the end.
Okay, well, before you push me, I go, oh, my savior, you didn't have to do that for... Oh, okay, all right.
Ow.
Kind of almost tumble a little bit, yeah.
Thanks.
Excellent. All right.
And Frey is going to come back down to humanoid size, but you still can kind of see he's a little rocky. He's going to hang out to the form for the duration.
Okay, excellent. Excuse me.
Those Scarlet Feather dudes didn't say anything about stuff like that. They
They
seem
didn't
to have
mention
skipped that
anything
part.
about
Yeah, and they
to be
have a
fair,
gnome.
They said beasts and creatures.
They did actually give us a
And
whole
ogres.
speech warning us that past the river it gets really bad. You know, this is
If
bad.
there's one thing I know with that like 21 Arcana check that I rolled, was that a displacer beast is not a beast.
No, but
It is not a beast.
It's
I know
it's,
that.
mention
it's not a beast, but it's bestial in nature. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
So like,
Yes.
It could be just
throwing it out
stuff
there.
that you want.
Displacer beasts, owl bears. They were created by not natural means, but that doesn't mean they haven't thrived in the wild
That's fair.
somewhere in the world.
It is also literally called a displacer beast.
Yeah, well, semantics, right?
So, I mean, it does, yeah. I can see how people would get, yeah. How a couple adventurers in a bar after a few drinks,
Lennox
Interesting.
goes,
That's fair.
hey, when you're traveling with a snack, people are going to want to make a meal out of that.
Hey, that was pretty good.
Oh, thank you, Jax.
Appreciate
Frey?
that.
Nothing.
Yeah,
He's already like
Frey
Uh,
walks
15 feet
off and
ahead.
he sounds heavier than he definitely used to be.
I mean, I know he can do that, but every time it's like my brain melts for a second, and I think I'm gonna die
You
Mm.
every
definitely
time.
don't understand how or why or anything.
But I know he can do it,
Um,
and it's crazy.
while he's still in this form, I'd like to take a moment and like center myself to the earth and do another survival check to make sure we're on the right track.
I will let you roll with advantage as the earth speaks to you.
Ah, well, I also get a bonus because I am raging.
Oh, yeah.
So, survival.
Rage knowledge.
It's going to be 22 in
22,
total.
22. All right. 22. Yeah. You know, even though you're still just outside of this old logging camp, because of the earlier weather in the day, it definitely slowed you down. But you know, getting close, kind of tuning out the other sounds. You now know like, okay, this is the direction we need to go, and this is the mountains are speaking to me. They are this way.
I feel them speaking.
And when he talks, it sounds gravelly, like little rocks
A little
in his
more.
throat clinging together.
It's almost a little more like I've been smoking for a few years.
Yeah. And you can continue that path. The rest of the day goes relatively normal. And you do get close to nighttime and you begin to set up camp again. Um, all the little things that you guys normally do probably ensue. You know, the next day is not that much different than the first. Crow flies away. Dare helps make fire. Lola
There's
starts.
just flitting around,
Yeah.
dancing, and
Lola starts to scan the perimeter and does her march, directed by Jax, and you bed down for the night. Just for simplicity's sake, I don't care who's on watch first because this night goes also relatively quiet. Each of you do your watches. No growls, no creepy sounds. In fact, Crow even just sits on the tent all night and doesn't feel like flying around. Um, you all get a nice rest in, fully rested again for the next day. Now I would like for somebody else to roll me a d20 for the weather today as she starts to cast Druidcraft.
yeah. I will say too, after seeing Frey go more rock form, Dare at night becomes this little earth elemental and just kind of like hobbles around the camp all night, like kind of
This is the
copying
first time that you see
Frey.
Dare that actually has like a form. Like it has two little arms and two little like boulder legs, just like two rocks. Though it's like like they're round-ish in nature, so it kind of looks like a little thing like with like wheels, but not
Like
quite.
wobbling back and forth. Yeah.
A seven, seven. As you hold out your hand with your glitching globe, and little sparks going off, it's like a light gray. Just no, just light clouds in the sky, and you know, as the sun's coming up, it kind of peers through occasionally through the clouds. Still a little chilly air, but no rain that you're aware of. And you travel again.
All right.
You guys
Continue on.
follow your map. Roll me a survival check, or if you guys have any other plans.
I mean, I think we're just good to go here, right?
All right.
Yeah, I think you're good, Frey.
Roll me a survival check, Frey.
Oh,
20.
not advantage for some
No,
reason.
it's fine.
20.
Just 20. First number.
Yep.
So yeah, 20. You because of what happened the day before, you're still sort of just like, look, I know it's this way. I felt it. And you're looking at the map. You guys eventually do see this weird rock outcropping that is mentioned on the map. To like, you're gonna want to go past that. And let's see now.
I remember he mentioned that. Yes.
Yeah.
He did say something about
In the
that.
letter. And yeah, so you walk past that, and towards the end of the night, end of the day rather, you start to see. Now you can now you can definitely see them. Even though you're in the forest, you look up and there's mountain tops, right there. You're maybe another full day's travel. You guys get to nighttime, camp again, no big deal. Next day, the weather holds out, stays nice and kind of light clouds. You're basically on the edge of the mountain range now, and the terrain is starting to change. It's still forested, but it's getting that slight incline, and there's larger rocks scattered about in the area. Little outcroppings, kind of like poking out through the ground here and there, mossy covered jutting stones. With following the map, you eventually stumble upon what looks like a very large cave opening, and you see 3 ogre bodies just laying there, rotting. Some carrion is sitting there like ripping it up and like chewing it and like looking at you, and you get a little closer. They kind of fly away for a minute, the vultures, and that is what you walk into.
So they came this way. We're going the right way, apparently.
Looks like it.
All right. Should we enter the cave?
Yeah. How dark is it? Look in that cave.
Dark.
It's
There is no light source emanating from the cave.
great. Can we?
You guys can't really see though, right? Probably need a torch or something, some fire.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we can create a torch or something.
I pull out a torch. I'm like, could you help me with this? One of you, whichever one of you.
Got it.
Because Druidcraft creates fire, right? Okay, so Lennox kind of like blows on it, and little fire comes up onto your torch and lights it.
Thank you.
It's not alive, but it's something.
You can use. I didn't know you could use fire. It's good to know.
Thank you. Yes, I am a woman of many talents, many secrets.
Yeah.
A
You
mysterious.
should try
being.
using that at some other points besides just lighting torches.
I have no response for you at this moment in time, but I will think on it.
Good. Be good. I think it'd be helpful.
You two need to wait out here or something? What's going on? Like,
No, let's go into the
And just
scary
know.
cave. That's why we're here.
all right, cool.
And let my fire light the way.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, Lola, maybe give us go up about like 15 feet. Lola has dark vision too, so.
Lola goes stomping into the cave, and as it gets rockier, you can hear the metallic feet clanging against the ground.
Can Lola try to be stealthy?
She can sure as heck try.
She's gonna try to be stealthy. She's not very good at it.
I'm gonna turn Dare fire
15.
and just have them floating around everybody else who can't see.
I'd like to cast mage armor again on myself before we walk into this cave.
Yep, new day, new mage armor. Go for it. Take up that spell slot.
Let's go.
Excellent. Is anybody else trying to stealth in this cave?
I will stealth, sure.
Okay.
We could try to
Go.
Give it a
Hide
try.
a little bit.
See how it goes.
It's a large. It's
Okay.
like a 30-foot cave
At
opening.
19. 19's not bad.
I got a 10.
Woof, woof. Your dog in somebody's background.
That's me.
Nice. And a Frey got a 15.
Give me that little poocher.
Excellent. All right. Stealthy people, maybe, kind of, not really. Okay. But anyway, Jax, yeah, you're letting Lola take the lead, and you're being careful with your bright torch in your hand. Plus, Dare is kind of floating around Lennox, and you occasionally kind of flying back and forth. And as you enter this cave, it's a pretty large cave. You could definitely tell like ogres have been living here. There's a couple corpses of different creatures scattered in the corner. You do see a human femur scattered in the corner. Could have been one of their friends picked apart by the other creatures that came here after the fact that these ogres were killed. And let's pick
That's nasty.
something a little different. How's this sound?
Much more foreboding.
There we go. And as you kind of go in there, it's still a little bit of a wet cave. Where you were entering, by the way, so like you're entering this cave, right? But you look up and it's just mountain, huge, You could not climb this mountain without the proper gear if you wanted to. Like it's a hell of a mountain face. Um, and you enter this cave, and it's pretty solidly hollowed out. Not looks pretty natural, except for a few areas where you can see something might have knocked out part of the wall. You know, not artisanally, we'll say. And you kind of just venture forth into it. It's pretty dark. You don't see much. Nothing too descriptive. Again, you see corpses of bones in some places, and you push your way through. And with the map you have, and then with the little information that Scarlet Pinion gave you, you do know that there is a little tunnel towards the back of this cave. And as you push through, you do see that there is like an entrance, right? And it kind of comes. It's smaller, more the size of like, you guys could fit in there, but nothing too big could fit in there.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
let's do
I
it.
guess
Does it look like
This is the way.
a created hole, or is this more just, again, kind of pretty natural looking?
Roll a. What would a nature check?
Maybe?
Nature check?
Yeah, roll me a nature check.
Oh. Hey.
As you do, how close do you get to inspect it and all that? Like, do you start walking in there? Do you?
I'm not going in it yet. I want to take a look at it first.
So you're
but
like at the entrance.
like 5 feet away, yeah.
Okay, I mean, even from 5 feet away, you have dark vision. The room is fairly lit up because of the torch and because of Dare, because you're all close enough to each other, I assume. And yeah, I mean, you look at it and like it's definitely smoother. It looks worked, but rough, old, not well kept.
Like hewn, but not like amazingly.
It's not like
made.
there's no brickwork, there's nothing like that, but you could tell something or someone dug this at some point. But it's definitely, yeah, it's rough. It's not nice looking. It's nothing like that. But you can tell there's like, you kind of take a look, it's not even pick marks, right? But it's like smoother than a natural stone.
Okay.
Probably be careful with this. Something
Well,
made this.
It's
Something made-
foreboding for sure.
Something made the ruins too. So I'm sure that whoever made those ruins, this was maybe a way to get to them, to whatever those ruins are.
Could be.
Makes sense.
All right.
Let's do it.
Well, how do we want to proceed here? Are we just heading right in? Do we want to look around a little bit?
Is there anything else in the wider cave that we could look at, or is it just kind of like filtered to this point?
You could probably, I mean, if you want to, you could roll a perception check. You could investigate any of the bones stuff in the cave. You do see like, it looks all like trashy, but you do see like piles of some stuff in corners.
Oh,
What?
accidentally rolled a nat 20.
Oh, rip.
No.
Well, that's gone
Yep.
to the ether now. Sorry, man.
Yep, wasted that
Yeah,
one.
there are some piles of what look like rags and stuff you could investigate if you
Alright.
wish.
No, I'm good with the tunnel. I say we keep pushing towards the ruins. That seems like
Alright. So
the
now,
the,
with the size of this cave opening, we're gonna need a marching order of sorts.
Do you want to take point, Frey, or do you want me to send
Yeah.
you first?
No, I can go first.
Okay, it's probably better that way. I'll keep Lola with me and Lennox.
And I'm center.
Okay.
Yeah, you can be in the middle. I'll be in the back, and
So
Lola
we got
can be
Frey,
behind
we got
Frey.
Lennox.
Or
and
Lola,
then-
and then Lennox.
Oh, you want Lola up front? Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll just be in the back.
Gotcha. Lola, and then Jackson Vax. All right. Yeah, Frey, you start to go down this tunnel, and again, it's like kind of smoother stone, but like rough and worn and old and mossy and damp, and the area that you're walking on is still kind of unsteady. Definitely pieces of rock have fallen here. It's not like it's not like a clean path, and you kind of push your way through, and you eventually do come into like a room. A small square-ish room,
Okay.
maybe 15 feet by 20 feet, more like a rectangle, 15 feet wide, 20 feet long. Ceiling is about 10, 15 feet high.
Okay.
And here, once you walk into this room and Dare kind of goes in and you lights it up a little bit, you can see the walls were definitely like worked stone, still worn, super worn. There's really nothing. There's no great description on the walls. It's just worked stone. This was definitely. It's a ruins. Like there's nothing in there, but it's
Something
a worked
did
room.
this, yeah.
Something made this. And you can see, we'll just say the Scarlet Pinion also did tell you, like, oh, this is, you gotta assume this is the room where they found that ore. They found like basically a small pile of it and just like took it, and they're like, this might be worth something, and left. But other than that, this is just a room that you can tell.
There's no doors or anything. It's just a square room.
No doors. Roll me a perception check.
Ooh.
Lennox. She asked the question.
Sure.
13.
13.
Again, nondescript room, dark stone, worked, but then you do notice that, of course, in the, we'll say a left and furthest corner from you, you could see that, like, just rubble, like, part of the area collapsed. Can't quite tell what's there, just a whole bunch of rocks, but definitely like that portion of this room is collapsed. Something fell over there. That's what you see right now.
But what I'm asking is that this is the end of the line. There doesn't seem to be anywhere to progress forward where we are right now.
With your perception check and with what you're looking for, that's all you see is that portion of the room is gone, collapsed.
I'm gonna go in the room. I'd like to like investigate the room, maybe like look for any secret doors or a hatch, a latch, maybe.
Okay, yeah. Roll. Both of you can roll me investigation checks independently as you're looking around this room.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
That's a nat 1. I don't see anything.
11.
Not
you
good
know,
at this.
not amazing, but like you guys are in there, and Frey, as you kind of like walking around the wall, seeing, you are kind of not tripping over, but you're walking over like rubble, and on the ground. Eventually, you kind of notice real quickly, oh, that's interesting, but like something that it's stone. Don't get freaked out, but it looks like it could have been a face. Like it's stonework. It looks like it could have been a face, but it's very worn, old. Like you can't really distinguish any features of it, but like you could see like a cheek, maybe lips, and like kind of like a nose, but like smooth, worn with time. And as you kind of like look at it, you feel the ever so slightest breeze coming from.
And I stop.
The rubble.
Coming from like all the other side of the room.
Like you kind of made your way over there a little bit, and in that rubble, this is where like you kind of saw that face, and then you kind of
put my hand out
breeze.
And try to feel exactly where it's coming from.
Yeah,
and point it and say it.
In this rubble, eventually,
definitely
put
some
your
airflow over here.
Over something, over a little area, and you kind of feel just like a coolness, just blowing by your hand slightly.
There's a breeze over here.
Okay, maybe underneath the rubble there's something.
Can I try to can I look in? Is it like possible for me to like look into where the air is coming from?
I mean, it's rubble, and it's like pitch black beyond it, even with dark. Like there's no like, you know what? How about this? If Dare's around with you, and you kind of see. You kind of see through the rubble, like it definitely goes in further, but because like the rocks here are relatively big, it's not like dirt filled cave in. It's just like rocks. Right. And so you do think at one angle you kind of see maybe some more of that worked stone going further back a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely seems like there's something behind this if we can get through here.
Yeah, let's move it. I go and try to help them move the stones.
All right, roll me some athletics checks if you guys are helping pick up stones.
I'm wondering if I can use my mold earth to move the stone out of the way.
You can sure as heck try.
It says you can target an area 5 by 5 of dirt or stone. and deposit it 5 feet away.
Yeah, you can totally use that to kind of slowly move some of the dirt and rubble out of the way. Let me just see
Okay.
what it says. You choose dirt or stone. 5 feet cubed, move it with. Oh, you can put it in
Nice.
there, loose earth. You can instantly excavate it, move it along the ground, and deposit it 5 feet away. This movement doesn't involve enough force to cause damage. Yeah. So it's it's not like, I mean, it's a cantrip, so it is instant. But you take some time, and the rocks kind of and kind of like roll over and out of the way a little bit. And with probably a few casts of this, eventually you start to see, you move a few of the bigger rocks, and some of the smaller rocks kind of filter through and fall out. Roll me a nature check as you're trying to be careful with which rocks you are choosing, as to not maybe cause yourself a landslide of any form. I'll give you that. 19, great. Yeah, you're very careful with this. At one point, you move one rock, and you kind of hear that as like a few more rocks fall, but like nothing major. And eventually, you kind of clear them out of the way, and you do see that this worked stone continues, and it's kind of like a hallway. But now you see that the inside, it's all messed up. It's a hallway, but you can see like parts of the wall have collapsed. Some bigger rocks are in the way. It looks pretty precarious, we'll say.
Okay.
So I call it a ruin.
Yep.
All right. Continuing on. Can I take a look real quick
Lovely.
to make sure there are neither, well, for traps
Sure.
first, but
If that's
also just to
something
make sure there
Frey comes up with
aren't
in his
anything
mind.
that's going to be, yeah. It's like he's in a ruin. You never know what's been left behind. It hasn't been disturbed in a while. Maybe there's something that's been left to deter people. Maybe that's what this cave-in was. But also just keeping an eye out for either traps or anything that would be detrimental in a similar way. So like if there's something that looks like it's in a cave-in,
Investigation check.
soon, yeah. Oh my God, my rolls tonight. 6.
Yeah, I mean, it
We're
looks
good.
like a rocky hallway. Just a real messed up hallway with lots of debris and rocks in the way,
There's
and you're good.
nothing wrong with this hallway.
Hey
I
guys,
think
be
we're gonna be
careful. There's
pretty
some
good.
rocks in the way.
I love it. All our rolls are so bad, Max. Like, you see rocks. Remember those
Yeah.
rocks you saw? You see them
I
again.
hope you watching are
Yeah.
having fun.
Oh
The
man.
rolls are so bad.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll move in.
Same marching order. All right, you move on in. You're very careful. You're walking through. I would say in this case, unfortunately, you feel like trying to be quiet is just foregone. There's not a lot of room to move here. In fact, Jax, you probably have to pick up Lola a few times just to kind of get her around some of the rocks and stuff. And she's heavy as a metal tortoise could be.
Pretty heavy,
So good luck with that. Lennox, you're short. You have to actually climb over some of the rocks. Occasionally, I'm assuming Frey or Jax have to help you over the rocks because this is like a caved-in hallway to that extent. For that, I would like a group survival check as you're trying to get through this tunnel without
Dare's just kind of
disturbing.
bouncing off walls.
Yeah,
I
Dare's
rolled a
fine.
natural 20.
You did with
Hey.
a -1, so it's
Doesn't
a 19.
matter, it's still a nat 20.
Oh, we got 2 nat 20s.
Wow.
Oh,
See,
and I got an 18.
this hallway's our bitch.
I was gonna be
Mess up
mean
this
and be like,
hallway.
you know what's great about natural 20s? Doesn't matter on a skill check.
Yes, it
But 2
does.
natural 20s.
Not in my world. But yeah, no. It's you
Two
guys,
natural 20s
and an 18 though. You guys rolled great, amazing. Yeah, you guys
Heck yeah.
deftly get through this caved-in hallway unscathed, no scratches. Even Lola gets popped out the other side, and eventually, you didn't really notice this at first. It was a pretty going through the cave. I'll say this: you did notice that there was like this weird slight incline as you were walking. It didn't go down; it went incline, and you got into this weird room. And then as you're going through this hallway, even you guys realize like, oh, but we are also climbing. Like we're all going up still. And as you get to the end of this hallway, you actually see some light, very very dim light, like filtering through at the end of the hallway. And you kind of once you get out of it, you realize like, oh, what? We're outside. and you kind of come to this area that is just overgrown with moss and vines and all sorts of greenery. There's not really much of a path here. It's like this all these thick bushes in your way, but you still have like these walls on the side of you going up, and you can see like 30, 40, 50 feet even above you, like sheer wall, just all vines, kind of scaling the wall. And you barely see through it because it's so overgrown, but you see that there's also what looks like maybe 30 feet down this corridor is a doorway, like an arch, and it's worked stone, like these big stone slabs. It's about 20 feet tall, about 10 feet wide, also kind of moss covered, but you can barely make it out, and you can tell like that's definitely another opening of some sort.
Mm. Do we see where the light's coming from?
The sky.
Oh, so it is just
Oh,
open
it's
up top.
It's open.
This hallway is just open.
Yep.
This high ass hallway.
Yep.
We can see the sky. These
Yep.
giant
The walls are about
blocking
10
us in.
feet away from you. On
Okay.
on
So-
you know
Oh, it's a
whatever.
big hallway.
It's a pretty big hallway,
It's
but
a
it's
crevice.
all it's yeah, it's like it's a
Open.
crevasse, and it's
It's a crevasse.
Crevasse.
it's overgrown, and you know when you step out onto it, like the footing doesn't seem super sure, but solid enough.
Okay. Must be the entrance to the ruins themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Ruins proper. Should just
Hmm.
be cautious as we head in.
Yeah, I think we just keep an eye on things.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do another trap check or like trigger
Mhm.
check?
I'm gonna do one as well.
Yeah.
What would you
Sure,
like,
yeah,
perception
All right,
or?
then I would like perception checks.
Okay.
Nice, Jax.
Lennox, you see a lot of vines, a lot of
Love
bushes, and you're like, that's nice.
Great.
You see
This
the
is,
sky.
I mean, it's
Gorgeous.
it's kind of it is like it's
Gorgeous.
awe
Yeah,
inspiring,
sounds
right?
pretty.
To like have a
Mhm.
wall like 50 feet high of just like green vines and stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
something that none of us have probably ever seen in our lives. Like it's like, whoa, this is
Mhm.
crazy nature. Frey, yeah, you're looking out. You don't see anything suspicious necessarily.
Mhm.
And Jax, you kind of hone in and you look at the doorway and you don't see nothing stands out over there. You don't nothing's moving in the vines. Nothing's really making noise in this crevasse. You hear birds occasionally, little cheeps from higher up. You think it's okay?
All right. I think it's clear. I think as far as I can tell. We should go
I
ahead.
guess we keep
over
going
there.
then.
Yeah, let's do this.
There's nothing in here in terms of we don't see any bodies or anything that's like that. It's more just kind of hallway.
You don't
Okay.
see anything. Oh, you know what? Okay, yeah, he had a really good perception check. I'll give you this. Jax, as you're scanning the room, right, and you guys kind of like step in a little bit, you finally you notice it. You see it. You see in under the vines, the wall. You see what you think is a face, but stone,
Oh,
but very worn.
And it's hiding behind the vines.
Sure, it is hiding behind the vines.
I just mean like the vines is covering the wall, but
Oh,
you can see
Also,
it, like,
also,
through
also an
that.
accurate description of something that's behind the vines.
Is it a living face or it's a stone face?
Stone with that perception check. It's gray. It's and doesn't have a lot of features. Again, you can kind of see where eyes would be because it's like sunken in stone, and you can kind of see where a nose would be because it's raised stone, but it's very smooth and worn away with time.
do you point it out to us, or do you just kind of continue on?
Yes, I do.
You all see this now that Jax points it out. And you can
Huh.
see that there's a wall with like a face on it.
Does it
Uh,
look like roughly humanoid size? Like, is it?
Do you
Does it
want
have
to get
a
up
certain
closer
kind of
and check it out?
feature? Not really, but I'm going
Would
to.
I know anything history-wise that could help me
With
with
how
this?
much you can see right now, you can't really glean that much information from it. It is rather large.
The face
The
itself.
face is rather large. Yeah, it's like
Oh.
it's like take our faces and like maybe make them like 2-3 times
Oh,
bigger.
okay. So this is a big one.
Interesting.
Do we want to go take a look?
Sure.
I mean, if
All
we're
right.
here for research purposes, I
Yeah.
think can we pull the vines away or slash them away?
Yeah,
Maybe
you can. Yep, if you want,
Yeah.
you can use a sword, knife, whatever. Try to cut away some of the vines. They're pretty thick. They've been there
Pull the
for
sword out,
a
long sword,
long
and just
time.
start
Those
at
vines.
the vines.
Yeah, you chop away at
Nice.
this, and you kind of chop like let's say like a 5 foot square around the face, and you see again it's a face. You could tell it's like a part of the wall. Like think not necessarily in style, but the idea of like like Egyptian. Like there's something
Mm-hmm.
sculpted or chiseled from these walls, and it's all
Right.
like this like brown reddish rock in here, and gray stone where the figure is. So around the figure is like this brown reddish rock, and then the figure is like gray. It stands about 10 feet tall. It has a rather large face. No real features. The whole thing is worn out, very smooth, and it's just like it's just like this sculpture as part of the mountain wall here. And now that you're in here, you kind of taking a look around. You see they're like lining this whole cavern wall on both sides.
Do they look like? I mean, I know obviously they're worn. Do they look like they could be, like I said, humanoid humans, or is it not? Is there not enough to say?
Now you can roll me an investigation check as you kind of like chop one away. You're sort of like peeling back. You're looking at some other things.
Mm-hmm. So continue this trend of rolling. I got an 8.
You just don't really know. I mean, it's humanoid in shape, but it's very large.
Is now that we can see them, could I try a history check, like
You
book
could try.
stories?
You could try.
19.
So what a 19 will get you is that you do know that dwarves lived in this mountain. They still do.
Okay.
They still live in this mountain somewhere, but it's a huge mountain range, right?
Okay.
But looking at these carvings, there's not nearly enough descriptors on there to even let you think that it could be dwarven, and there's really nothing in here that, from what you know of dwarves, would make you think, oh yeah, this is totally dwarven in make. Like it's just there's
yeah, you
no
know
connection.
what dwarves love? Massive, massive rooms that they have to build, even though they're 3 feet tall. This isn't giving dwarf to me.
Yeah, sheer wall with open under the open sky.
10
Doesn't
feet
seem like
tall
dwarven.
dwarf representation.
Interesting.
I say let's move forward. This is.
Yeah, I guess we keep
So,
going.
yeah.
Nowhere else.
Yep.
Yeah, Jack's.
But I'd like to draw it. So
Okay.
anytime we see something like this, I would like to take out the map and draw
Sure.
sort of what's there. So
Yeah.
that's my
Yeah, I
You,
put the torch on the ground and I take some notes really quick.
Mm.
Notebook.
Excellent.
I'm like writing these down.
You take notes. I'm the Polaroid picture.
I'm like,
Mm.
So you guys take like we'll say 5-10 minutes or so to do that.
I keep an eye out.
You keep
while
an
they're
eye out.
doing
Roll,
that.
roll a perception check while you're keeping an eye out.
I have Lola too.
Great.
No, Frey, everything seems fine.
Looks good.
You can roll
Can
one for Lola.
roll
Yeah.
in Lola? Thank you.
Yeah, if you're doing something, I will allow
12.
Lola to roll a perception check. But when you're perceiving, then it's mostly just you. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that.
It's a 12.
12. Lola does not alert on anything interesting.
All right.
At some point, Chho comes flying into the crevasse and lands on Lennox's shoulder.
Okay.
Just does a little whistle.
Good surveillance work.
And,
finally.
yeah.
Great.
So you guys take some sketches. You write down some notes. Do you proceed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Mhm.
So as you
Let's
guys
do this.
start to walk into this this larger opening of workstone, still very worn. It's hard to. There's no real detail. You could just tell that it was separate blocks at some point, but they're so old they've kind of merged together. So it's really just like that weird indent of a line. And you keep traveling through, and eventually you kind of comes in. It's still a very large tunnel now. This thing is, like I said, it's like 20 feet tall, 10 feet wide tunnel. And eventually, with a dare and your torch, you enter a large cavern, massive, massive in size. You're still on the ground level, we'll call it, right? So like everything around you, there's these
Mm-hmm.
huge stones in your way, like a massive rock. Like I'm talking like a rock. This cavern, you can't even really. It's so dark that you can't really see the top because all of you with your dark vision, even you can only really see so far. Like 30, 40 feet, we'll say at most. So like beyond that, it's just dark above you, so you can't really see a ceiling. There's no more light filtering in. Um, and is a dark room. You have Dare and the torch with you, and the one of the rocks you finally get into like this cavern area. It just opens up and you can only see as far as the light will let you see. So you're just in a dark, massive room, and you're standing on this huge rock that it looks like a solid piece of rock jutting out from the earth. It's about 50 feet in length in any direction from you. Like you're just standing on this huge platform, if you will. And I would like for all of you to just roll me perception checks as you enter this room.
Sure. Yeah.
Good job.
Pretty good.
All of you kind of immediately see is that there is this cloth thing, and there's like a light weird breeze just kind of swirling around this area. Like there's that constant, coming in from the tunnel that probably you just came in from, maybe, or maybe there's another tunnel leading out somewhere. Um, but you kind of all catch it out of the corner of your eye as like there's this cloth thing over to your left, and when all of you look at it, maybe the torchlight kind of grabs it a little bit as it's only about like 40 feet away from you or so. You see what looks to be like a tent, but it's all torn up.
Oh, that's not great.
I'm like, protocol dictates we should probably be quiet.
Protocol dicks.
Protocol dictates.
Protocol Dick.
Is there?
Um,
Can I look for something specific really fast?
What are you looking for?
Any sort of like oil vat or like lights or something that could be lit to help illuminate the space more. A way of getting light around the area.
Yes. Roll me a perception check.
Okay.
Again, for you specifically looking for something that you think could be lit.
11.
You are next to a cloth tent that you could set ablaze,
Yeah.
I guess, if you really wanted to. And next to that tent, because you were looking at the tent and you're like, I could burn that. And like not even 5 feet over to the right, you do see that there is a fire pit there, just not with like some rocks, some twigs that you don't know if it's gonna burn, but you could sure as heck try if you wanted to.
I don't want to alert. I might say like, do we want more light, or should we actually maybe douse some of our light?
maybe
I
not
don't know.
yet.
Yeah.
I think we're good with what we have. for
Okay.
now.
Great. I was hoping we might be able to light the whole space.
If we're close
Hmm.
enough to the tent, can we look inside it?
Can
I investigate it?
You may now. You may go if
Mm.
you want. Are you gonna move over to the tent?
Yeah. I'm gonna move
Alright.
over to the tent.
So
Yeah.
you move over to the tent. Dare's flying around somewhere. Frey, what are you doing?
I'm gonna follow Jax. I'm just gonna try to be a little stealthy about it, but
Okay, so you're kind of hanging back a little bit. And Lennox, you're where? Do you staying up on the rock? Yeah.
I'm probably right behind Jax.
Okay, so you go over to the tent too.
Yeah, I have Lola with me also.
Okay, I'm just gonna move that so I don't get confused. All right, yeah, roll me an investigation check, Jax. Then.
Heck yeah. 24.
Nice.
nice.
Okay. Yeah. So you go up this tent. There's nothing directly around it. You do see that there's like this. There's just like these. This tent is all tore up. Like you could basically see inside of it as you're walking up to it. There's a little fire pit that Lennox is kind of standing next to, and Frey is he's out of the tunnel, but he's like standing on the rock, kind of like looking and like kind of watching your back, but also like kind of like this huge rock is about 5 feet, so it's like this weird 5-foot massive, we'll call, it's not quite cylinder-like, but you can kind of sit behind it and you can like peek your head over. So you're like looking over this flat surface into the darkness just to see if anything's coming out. Lennox is over by the fire, and Jax, you're investigating this tent. And when you get to this tent, you see inside of it just like a mess of bones. Like just a whole bunch of humanoid bones. And in the distance, you start to hear this like sound. Like, is it stone hitting stone? Is it some other? It's kind of like rattling a little bit, like. And I'll say, Frey, as you're kind of peering over the stone, this humongous stone slab, you look over to your left and you see like a shadowed figure kind of stumble up and like kind of starts like walking sort of towards you. And then Jax, you look down as this pile of bones starts rattling and like actually like starts to like stand up. And I actually think that's where we're gonna stop for tonight.
Oh man.
No.
Right there. I was ready to roll.
Yep.
Sorry.
Nope.
Let's
Sorry.
do it.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
There's a very specific monster in Maze Runner, and I've read the books and seen the thing, where they make the sound, they describe the sound of the monster as human flesh, mechanics, and bones grating together in a squishy pile.
Ooh,
And the sound you
squishy.
just made was like, ooh, that's the sound. I don't like it.
I don't want to know about that.
Well,
Not
That's
great.
I thank you guys for playing tonight, and looking forward
Thank
to our
you.
next session. And for our audience out there, please join us next time for Arcane Architects. And thank you very much for watching, and have a great night.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Bye.
Mac. Appreciate you.
Bye.